Well, we're waiting.
Yeah, we're waiting on you.
Why is it my job to have to start
Second
the cold
take,
open?
because you're the one that always does it. You're literally, you and Brendan usually are the ones.
Am I cold open guy now?
Yes. Allegedly.
I mean,
whenever you're not
you
fired,
control
yes.
the record button.
Yeah, you do.
So you should pick a time when you hit record. When
You should
it
have
flows
something in
naturally.
mind when you hit record to start a conversation. Lead us into the episode.
Or you do what I did and then Colin deletes it.
What did you do? Oh, yeah. Still can't believe you said that about his mom.
Wow.
Welcome on into Good Time Sports Podcast. I'm your host, Brendan Carson. Joined me today is Colin Brown, and Andrew Maloney is here. So we're actually all here today. Crazy. Not every often it happens, but
It's
it
a
does.
rarity.
Hey,
It's
the
a
full
rarity.
moon must be out, right?
Yeah.
Today we're going to get into Major League Baseball, some F1, NHL, NBA, college football, NFL, and then we'll end it on this day in sports. Well, let's get into it. Well, boys, they did it.
We did it! We won the fucking World Series!
Can we,
We need to
reference
turn
who we
his
is?
mic down.
Yeah.
The Rangers.
Ooh.
I screamed, sorry.
Sorry for every headphone listener out there. He nearly blew our
I'm
eardrums out.
happy!
You are happy.
We won the World Series,
I'm
dude.
happy too.
Okay. I'm excited.
All right. 3, 2, 1. Just give me your best, excitement, whatever. 3, 2, 1.
It happened in my lifetime.
We didn't go 0 for 3.
Finally. Third time is a charm.
It is. Man.
I would have been so mad if it was another 2011.
I
would have been just losing.
That's why I refused to fully have hope until I saw that 4.
Why do you think I kept yelling at Cullen in text every time? He was like, one more game.
Yeah, stop it!
We've been here before.
We've been down to the last strike before.
I don't know what you're talking about. I was just counting down the outs, guys.
Yeah,
Counting down the strikes. So, hey, the Rangers got it done
Yep.
against the Arizona Diamondbacks in 5.
I said it. Out of all the teams to play, they're going to be the one that we want to take on. We have the
I'll
best
give you-
chance.
Here's the thing.
The thing about Arizona, though, is that they were hot. That scared me so much.
Zach Gallen had our number.
And game 2. In the second game that he pitched. Sorry. In the game that he pitched.
It was game 4.
Game 4.
as well,
Game
yeah.
1,
The Rangers kind of got on.
we got on him early.
Yeah.
Game 5?
That man was unhittable.
No, it was 4.
4.
Yeah. He pitched in game 4. He didn't pitch in game 5.
No, he pitched game 5.
He pitched game 5.
I thought it was.
No,
okay.
it was
No,
Gallen,
'cause that was the release
Fat,
game. You're right. Excuse me. Go
other
ahead.
guy.
Because
Go ahead.
Gallen, literally,
You're
no
right.
one could hit off a Gallen.
You're right.
Yeah.
No matter how hard they tried.
Yeah.
Nothing. He just had everyone's number.
That man put the Diamondbacks in a perfect position to win game 5, and they couldn't get a single hit.
Yep.
Shout out Nathan Eovaldi.
For keeping us
First
in.
off, he got himself into the jams, but boy, that man in jams is unhittable.
I don't need that heart attack.
No,
every
I don't
time.
need. I was
like,
stressed
"Please
every
stop."
time. It was every single inning. I was like, they're gonna hit a grand slam.
And then it's like Chapman comes up there, and I'm like, oh my gosh. I was like, I've seen this with New York, and it doesn't go well.
But we all know if Chapman is ahead of the count, he is also very unhittable. It's when he gets behind the count.
Oh, it's a nightmare.
It's
and a
the
half.
the Roldis Chapman experience is
That's most pitchers. If you get ahead of the count, yes, you're a more formidable pitcher than when you are behind the count.
because you have more options.
Exactly. So it's not that Chapman was anything special. It's just the fact that he wasn't living up to his namesake.
look, man. The Roldis Chapman experience is just stressful. Okay,
Okay, and you know what? He was
And-
part of a World Series team that will now be in Rangers history forever.
Yep. And Michael
no,
Young,
I still think it was a great trade. Don't
Michael
get me
Young
wrong.
and Ian Kinsler finally got
I
the
love
ring.
how you just took Brendan's water too.
He did. Hope you like my backwash.
Don't put a water in front. It was brand new. Okay,
So you think.
if you had already opened it, I'd put it in my butt.
So glad we recorded that.
I'm about to say that's going highlight. That might get inserted into the open.
Specifically getting tagged.
Yeah.
But yeah, so Arizona put
Just
up a
joking.
fight.
Guys, I'm just joking. Guys, it was a joke.
They could have had their
I was
second.
I was just kidding.
Yeah, he's not.
I was
Anyway,
just I was pleased. I was just kidding.
He's not. He's really not.
Arizona could have had their second.
Whoa,
World
Andrew, come on
Series.
now.
This is already just chaotic.
Don't talk about my mom like that.
But yeah, Arizona could have their second World Series win. Unfortunately, they could not get it done with the Texas Rangers just dominating.
And the
it.
Texas Rangers have now tied the Houston Astros for the same amount of World Series.
What?
that they didn't get while cheating.
All right. Anyway, some other exciting news for former Rangers people. Like I mentioned, we had Ian Kinsler.
Wait,
Michael
hold on.
Young.
Before we do that, Andrew, can you admit that I was right?
About
Dallas sports fans.
boot.
Dallas sports fans.
No,
You know?
Cullen.
Yes.
About what?
No.
DFW joins Boston and Los Angeles as the only markets to win an MLB, NBA, NHL, and NFL championship since 1995. Just say
You
I was
want
right.
you want to know how old I was in 1995?
You want to know?
I was a negative 2 years old.
Okay.
You want to know how old I was in
Okay.
1999 when the
Okay.
Stars won?
Yep.
I was 2 years old.
Cool.
I was
Dallas-
14 when the Mavs
Dallas fans
won,
should be grateful. That's all I'm saying.
and the Rangers now have won in
Not
2023.
so bad to be a Dallas sports fan. Just
You
It
saying.
said
is.
you were 2 in 99?
Yeah, I was born in
He
97.
was born in 97. He's younger than us. Did you
Yeah.
know that?
Why did I think you were our age?
No.
No.
Oh.
He's
I
a
was
little-
like 2. I was
Probably
like,
because I'm smarter
I
than
still- I was
Justin,
like, I
so he
remember-
just kind of throws
it
you
evens
off.
it out.
Yeah.
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 Mm.
We give to him and Justin's birth certificate.
Yeah.
All the time.
Flip-flopped.
Yeah.
Mm.
Exactly. Sorry, Justin. That man just caught a stray for no reason.
Man's sitting at home
Yeah.
on his couch, and you're just out here. Pop, pop.
Pow, pow.
Hey, well, that means, we'll see if he listens to the episode because we'll get a text from him.
That's very true. Yeah.
So-
that
This
that
is
was
his
just a
test.
test. I didn't mean it, Justin. Just,
He doesn't mean anything he says,
no,
apparently.
I don't. I don't mean shit.
But yeah.
Except that Dallas sports fans do have it tough.
Oh, shut up. Shut up. 4 championships. Like I said, you and LA and Boston. Those are the only ones that have had championships in all 4 major sports since 1995.
Well, Colin, I actually prepared for this.
Oh, okay.
So let me pull up my notes here.
Go ahead. Go ahead. I'd love to hear this.
Okay.
How terrible Dallas sports
In
is.
my lifetime,
Yes.
the
So,
Dallas Stars
Are we counting
have
from 95?
This is going
No,
to the
97.
and this is just going to the
97.
finals.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, this is just going to the finals. Okay.
Cool.
In 1999, the Stars won the Stanley Cup.
Yes.
In 2000, the Stars go back to the Stanley Cup Finals. They lost. In 2006, the Dallas Mavericks go to the finals and lose. In 2010, the Rangers lost. In 2011, the Rangers lost. 2011, the Mavericks win. Cool. For me personally, in 2019, Tech basketball went to the championship, lost. 2020, the Stars finals, lost. And then in 2023, the Rangers go and they win. So what? That's 3 for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 appearances. 3 for 9.
You just said it. You made it to the final game.
Well, it doesn't matter if you don't get the trophy. It doesn't matter
Yes,
if
it
you
does.
don't get the trophy.
You won your respective conference or respective division or whatever, and you made it all the way to that point. Yes, you didn't finish the accomplishment. Some teams haven't even gotten to that
And then
point.
I can add 2 more off the top of my head.
Go ahead.
The Stars go to the Western Conference Finals last year,
Yep.
lost. The Mavericks Western Conference Finals the year before that, lost.
Yep, and they're in the Final Four. Woo woo, boo-hoo is
Go
me.
talk to Arizona
I don't
fans.
care. I don't care about Arizona.
Yeah, exactly. That's why you're so complainative, because you don't care about anybody else. Dallas sports fans have it so good, and you are the epitome of that. Oh, wham, boo.
Bro, we have 3 championships in my lifetime.
Okay, yeah, since you were born in 1997. Again, only 2 other organizations can say that. Only 2 other metros, sports metros, can say that.
So?
Stop being ungrateful. It's literally the time of Thanksgiving. Stop being ungrateful.
Oh my God.
Damn! He threw
I don't
it
wanna-
it's Thanksgiving at
I don't
you.
want to hear.
It means
anything.
nothing if you're not winning. It's more pain.
Look at the ungrateful.
Do you know, dude?
Ungrateful.
Do you know how painful it is to go to a
Ungrateful.
final and lose?
So here, hang on. As the unbiased party involved in this argument, yes, you should be grateful because how many other Metroplex
I get
areas
that. We get to
say-
go to the finals. We get to celebrate.
Stop. Let me finish.
Yes, Dad.
Yes, the whole point of sports and going to the finals is to win the championship. So I'll give you that. But there are so many other teams out there that are just in dirt poor Bush League teams that never even see a playoff
or
appearance.
don't even have teams.
Yes.
That don't even have organizations in those respective sports.
So for this boo-hoo whining all the time. Yes,
Also, Colin can't complain. He was born and raised in Dallas, and he could be celebrating with us, but he decides to root for everything Seattle. So
When Dallas fan cries again.
yeah, it doesn't matter. You can choose other sports teams. It's
Yeah,
okay.
exactly. We've been over this. You're the only one that believes that you have to. By the way, you're a Vegas Golden Knights fan.
Yeah,
also,
hold on.
it's a secondary
Kansas City
team.
Chiefs. Yep. Okay, you root for other teams outside of your
Did
state.
I celebrate the Knights like I did the Rangers? No.
You literally posted on your Instagram
posted.
story that you dropped your Stars jersey and picked up
Oh,
a
do
little
y'all
Knights
not
one.
know what a fucking meme is?
No.
Nope.
Oh
I know
my
it. Nope.
God.
Nope, we
fan
don't.
is and not switching to the enemy.
Dude, I didn't get as hyped for the Knights winning the Stanley Cup. Cool. A
I'm
team
sorry.
that I support
Were you born
ended
in
up
Las Vegas?
winning, but I would have.
Were you born in Las Vegas or were you born in Kansas
But
City?
I root for the Stars over Vegas.
You root for the Chiefs.
Any
you root
day
for
of the
Vegas
week.
Golden Knights.
I root for the Chiefs because the best quarterback in the NFL went to my school
so not-
and goes and plays there.
Notice how he didn't say alumni first. He said best quarterback in the sport. And then he threw in, oh, yeah, by the way, he also went to my school.
Oh my God, bro.
Well, that does it for baseball. Ron Washington also got hired for the Angels, so we'll just we'll try to get this right back on track and move on over to F1.
This is fucking bullshit.
F1 is heading to Brazil.
Well, we already went to Brazil.
Or
Dumbass.
Okay,
I'm kidding.
there's
I
the
love you.
door.
I was about to say, so much animosity from that corner over
I
there.
know. It's almost like
Unbelievable.
maybe if the Cowboys could actually do something in a playoff game.
Dude, the Rangers won the
didn't
World
want it.
Series. The Cowboys can't hurt me.
Oh, yes, they can.
No,
and
they
will.
can't. Nope, they can't.
They're going to make it to playoffs and lose.
Not
again.
for at least like, I don't know, till baseball season starts again.
Unbelievable. They're going to be in the mix again. The Rangers are.
Dude, they
so
really
loaded.
could go back to back.
They could. 100%.
Like, they could be the
Especially-
first ones to do it since the Yankees, especially if they get
I
Shohei.
mean, and like, here's the thing. Knock on wood. For their health's sake, they should be in absolute contention.
No, listen.
Yep.
If honestly,
Knock
if the two biggest wins for us this offseason, obviously anyone getting Shohei is the biggest win of the offseason.
If we can keep most
If
of our
we
players.
can keep Monty, that's all I want because everyone else is still here. Essentially, that we
Monty's
need.
already talking to Boston, though, at the moment.
So
I'm just saying he's looking at other options.
Yes,
fine.
he's looking for money,
that's fine.
which he will find.
You can find it. Yeah,
Well, you know who wasn't looking for money? It's Max Verstappen because he's won it all this season.
it's
man.
insane.
He now holds a new record. Max Verstappen holds. He now has the win percentage record of races won compared to not winning. Any driver that has competed in an F1 season. So he has that now.
Can he finally stop racing and just win now?
Oh no, he's
Are
been,
we at
it's
that
been that
point?
happen.
Now hold on.
It's been that way.
So in F1, I feel like we've explained it to you before, but like you know how there's like team standings and personal standings, right?
Mm-hmm.
Max Verstappen by himself has clinched the team championship.
So he could just not race anymore the rest of the
yeah,
year. and be
100%.
done.
Oh no, he could have stopped racing in July and still be leading the championship right now.
Was it July?
Yeah, it was
Oh,
July.
Well, I mean, leading the. You're right. Leading.
Yeah,
the
he
championship.
wouldn't have clinched it yet, but he would be leading it.
So he's clinched it officially.
Oh no, yeah, that was like 3 weeks ago.
Why
Yeah,
is
it
he
was-
still racing? He might as well just let other people have a chance at this point.
That's not how Max Verstappen.
That's not how it
operates.
works.
That's
Yeah.
not how it works.
He said,
Yeah.
I'm gonna just keep running around circles on people.
Listen,
If Red Bull didn't have a second driver and Max was the only one racing against two drivers on each team, Red Bull still would be champions right now.
along with
It's
Max Ver-
insane.
So along with the team and the individual, just Max Verstappen by
Himself has
So
won.
who's his teammate?
Sergio Perez.
Checo Perez, who's
Yeah.
probably
So
going to
he's
get
just-
dropped.
So he's just basically riding behind Max
Yes.
Verstappen.
Oh, yeah.
Coattails the whole
And,
time.
I mean, that's
The
what we've
entire
been
time.
saying all year. Yeah.
Yeah, it's insane.
I mean, literally, this was one of our favorite races of the year. And if Max wasn't in it, this was one of the greatest races on the calendar.
Yeah,
Instead, it
because
was
the
just a
battle
Max-
for like first would have been all over the place.
Yeah. Instead, it was
Like
a
the
Max
dude who finished
superclass.
like on the front row
Yeah.
to start next to Max was out before the race even started.
Oh,
Like yeah, his like steering went out.
hydraulics. Yeah.
Yeah,
nice.
Yeah.
it's crazy.
Mm-hmm.
And there were so many failures, like wrecks. People were getting hit by tires. Like it was nuts.
Yeah. Their two rear wings were affected by the same tire.
Yeah, yeah.
Just an interesting weekend in
And they
F1.
got fucked, man. Like starting a lap behind too.
Yeah,
That
well,
sucked.
I'm still confused on. So they said apparently there was a safety car procedure that they didn't follow, and that's the reason that they were allowed.
So what happened is you know how when the race starts, the safety car follows on the first lap.
Yeah. Okay. Yes. I
Okay,
remember
so
this.
they
Yep,
go,
yep.
and then they were let out of the pits too late. And when they came out of the pits, they were behind the safety car,
Right.
which means that they're a lap back,
Right.
which is so stupid.
It makes sense now that you.
It makes sense, but
Yep.
it's still dumb.
It is.
So dumb.
Yeah, it ruined
But-
their races, both of them. Both
Okay.
the Aussies.
Also, I'm kind of over the sprint not meaning anything towards qualifying.
you're saying you want to go back to the old format?
Yeah, where it was practice 1, qualifying, practice 2, sprint qualifying, race. So qualifying on Friday gets you your sprint position, and then sprint position gets you your race position.
I would think that would help more. I think I liked Carlos Sainz's idea with a reverse grid order. Excuse me.
In the sprint,
Yeah,
that would be so fun.
yeah. I think that would make
Doesn't F3 do that? Or there's one racing series that does that.
right. And I think because then it doesn't spoil the race Sunday.
Yeah.
It still allows the sprint to be its own unique identity or whatever, and it allows more competitive racing because obviously you have the better cars at the back, slower cars at the front, different strategies. You never know. So I'm all for Carlos Sainz's idea. To me, like, I'm always going to be watching F1 whenever I can, whenever it's competitive, whether it's quali or racing or sprints or whatever. But yeah, this new format that they have this season, and the fact that it's been 6 races now that they've done this,
Yeah.
it's just really been a letdown. I agree.
Yep.
Yeah,
It's not fun.
Yeah, so Max Verstappen wins, Lando Norris takes P2, Fernando Alonso in the epic last lap battle with Checo Perez.
Dude, do you know how close I was to my prediction coming true that I
were
said he
close.
wouldn't get another podium?
You were close. You were.
And he
2 races
almost
away.
didn't get one.
I know.
He only got one by what, 0.05 seconds?
Yeah, literally hundredths of a second.
Have you seen
Yeah.
that clip on Twitter of them like coming down the straight?
Mm-hmm.
It's insane how close that was.
Yeah, photo finish. I mean, it's literally something that, you couldn't have asked. For a racing fan, that's what you hope for.
Yeah.
And we got it for the last pole position.
Photo finish for...
Hey, I know. Here's the thing. We got to give respect where respect is due. Lance Stroll coming in P5 and an Aston Martin.
He's only in P5 because he qualified high because of the rain.
Hey, again, you know what? He's there, and he maintained that position. He could have dropped like a stone in water,
Bum.
and yet he didn't. So he finished P5.
Bum.
Give him his respect.
Bum.
Give him his respect.
None.
Okay. Well, he's going to be driving in that seat next year, so you might as well get used to it.
Nope.
Sainz finishes in P6, Gasly P7, Hamilton, who had a really struggling race, P8, Yuki Tsunoda in P9, and Esteban Ocon rounds out P10. We're not going to preview the next race until next week, just because we got kind of a condensed show
But
here.
that was going to be so much fun.
It's going to be a good one.
It's time, baby. It's Las Vegas time.
What was your just real quickly main takeaway from this race? I'll give you mine, and then we'll kind of transition out.
Brazil's still a lot of fun. It's just such a unique track. It's so quick. Corners are fast, and it's still technical at the same time, which makes it so much fun, especially with the elevation changes. Like just going from the pit straight down the Senna S and then immediately into a super long back straight is just, it's so much fun. That Senna S causes so many problems, especially with aerodynamics, that it's a really hard corner to navigate. But yeah, I think Brazil still is one of the best races on the calendar. Sucks that Lewis didn't have his Brazil moment that he usually always has, but I think it also exposed a lot of weaknesses in the W14 that they can take back to the factory and hopefully improve the car with.
100%. And my main takeaway is that McLaren's going to be the next challenger to Red Bull next year.
They will not.
100%.
Nope.
McLaren's
They
gonna be
do
the
this
number one
every year.
driver.
They always
Not this
start
level.
slow, then
Not
they
this
come
level.
back up and they start
No.
competing by the end
Not
of the
this level.
season, and then they're back to ass when the season starts next year. So
Not this level.
All right.
Lando Norris will be challenging Max
Well-
Verstappen next year.
bookmark it.
Okay.
Okay.
It's there.
Well, moving on over to hockey.
Brendan's, you just was not prepared for the
Just
segue.
the animosity right
It's
now.
literally all from Andrew. He's just got something up one right now.
It's my water bottle.
This would be normally the time of year where we say Boston good, but Vegas very good.
Yeah.
Vegas very good, leading right now 23 points, followed closely behind with Boston at 21.
Yeah. Boston is off to a hot start again, but Vegas this year is off to an even hotter start. They just legitimately compete in every single game. It really just doesn't look like they have a weak point on their defense or their offense. They're constantly fighting for wins, and I mean they're winning. And this team could very legitimately repeat. They could three-peat, but Vegas is just so damn good. There's still a lot of season left, though.
Yep. So kind of covering the breakdown real quick. Colin, you want to give us the breakdown of every conference here?
Sure thing. In the Eastern Conference, the Atlantic is led by the Boston Bruins with 21 points, followed by the Tampa Bay Lightning with 16, Detroit Red Wings with 15, and the Toronto Maple Leafs in there at 14 points. In the Metropolitan, the New York Rangers lead the way at 19 points, followed by the Carolina Hurricanes at 16, New York Jersey Devils at 15 points, and New York Islanders at 13. The Western Conference now, the Central, Colorado Avalanche lead by 16, followed closely by the Dallas Stars at 15, Winnipeg Jets at 14, the Arizona Coyotes, shout out to them, at 13 points. Yep. And the Pacific Division, the Vegas Golden Knights lead the way, not only in their division, but the whole NHL, as we previously mentioned, with 23 points. The Vancouver Canucks, shout out to the Canucks at 19 points, Los Angeles Kings at 16, and the Anaheim Ducks at 14. Me personally, the Canucks have been the biggest story so far in the NHL season.
Hey, you know what's a big story, though? The San Jose Sharks finally got a win.
They did. Yeah, that one. Here's the thing. I didn't want to poke fun at them, but
it was okay to bring it up.
It was not great. Here's the thing. I've watched a couple games that featured the San Jose Sharks, and
they don't look good.
Well, here's
not
the thing.
At all.
Here's the thing. I'm again getting into the hockey spectrum. Like, I'm still learning the ins and outs of it, learning the nuances, all that and the other. It takes a lot for you to stand out to me in good or bad fashion, and the San Jose Sharks have done that of the latter a lot. It's not great.
They took Arizona's recipe last year and said, "Hey, watch this."
Worse. And Arizona doesn't even play in an NHL stadium, dude.
Yeah. So
Like, to be worse than that, it's bad. Look, San Jose, good for you, but Jumbo Joe announced his retirement, and it's just going to be a big old thing, and it's basically just going to be the Jumbo Joe season. Shout out Joe Thornton, what a guy, incredible hockey player. But I kind of want to touch on the Stars' schedule here real quick. 11 games in, the Stars have looked really strong to start the season. At one point, they were. Let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 1-1. And then they lost 2 straight, one to the Canucks and one to the Bruins. So these stretches happen in the season, but at one point the Stars were 4-0-1 when with their only loss coming in OT to the Knights.
Yep.
Who obviously lead the NHL right now. So the Stars kind of have a recipe that's working for them. It might be getting figured out a bit, but it's about how they bounce back here, and how DeBoer really gets this team rolling again. Can he do it? Do we keep losing? I mean,
one of the things I like about the Western Conference and with the Central individually is, again, it's super competitive and close. So, again, you got Avalanche, Stars, and Winnipeg, and even then Arizona and Minnesota. Like, they're all super close together right now.
Yeah.
I mean, the Blackhawks are the ones that are just kind of falling off a little bit on the train there. But it's really anyone's division to go win it. Like, anyone can sneak up in there, go on a win streak, and get hot, and then suddenly you're up in first there.
One thing I'm noticing that's really similar, though, to last season for the Stars is they're getting most of their scoring from that front line, that top line.
That's how it always is.
That Hintz, Robertson, Pavelski line. It's so like lopsided, and we really need this to even out a bit more for the team. But dude, one thing, that boy Otter, top 5 goaltender in the league.
Yeah, I don't think anyone's going to argue different about it.
Insanely talented.
You just need to get that man. I have to yell it again this year.
Defensive help.
Oh my gosh. I said it every day last year, and here I am again, repeating myself. Help. Please.
Help.
Like, again, he's going to get tired. He's going to get worn down. We saw what happened last year. You need to get this man some help. He cannot be a brick wall forever. Eventually, a brick wall will lose some bricks over time. It's just going to happen. Some of them will get by, and that's what's been happening.
Yeah. A very great signing for the Stars, though, this offseason was Matt Duchene from the Predators in Nashville. That man has really come in, and he's gelling really, really well with this team. Even at 32 years old, he's really found his stride again with this team. I mean, he always caused problems for the Stars in the past, and I used to love those Those Predators games. Those always ended up being like super, super intense and down to the last second. But one of those biggest weapons flipping and joining us has been really beneficial so far.
One other thing I kind of want to touch on, the Canucks jerseys. the new ones. Have you seen them?
Oh yeah,
listen,
they're. Oh my god,
black
dude, they're
ones?
so sexy.
I mentioned it, dude. They've got a new look. They've got a new swagger about them. They lead the NHL in goal differential. They're one of the hottest teams in the NHL compared to what they were last year. Vancouver Canucks, man.
Little
they
rebranding apparently can do some wonders.
are amazing. You know, just sometimes you need to look good to feel good.
Yep. Hey, and it's working right now.
Yeah.
For the Stars right now, goals wise, I think it's Hintz with 5 assists. You got Robertson with 7, and points. Pavs is leading it with 11. So a little bit of spread out all over the place. So that's always good. In regards to Otter, I mean, when it comes to goals against per game, 2.11. So, and then save percentage 0.933. So, I mean, he's doing pretty good. So, again, just get this man some help.
Yep.
Anything else we want to cover in hockey, or?
I mean, until after the All-Star break, man, it's gonna be real quick and easy. There's a lot of
We got a lot with
things
football.
that can change, and there's a lot of football to talk about. But I'm just excited to see where the season goes moving forward, especially for our Stars.
All right, let's move on over to some NBA.
Colon.
Denver Nuggets.
Sure. There's a lot of one-loss teams.
There are. And one of them include the local hometown team, the Dallas
The
Mavericks.
Dallas Mavericks.
Again, how bad is it to be a Dallas?
Look, man. Look. Okay, hold on. Listen.
my gosh,
Listen. No.
you
Stop.
You too. I will get a squirt
This
bottle.
year, I'm going to tell you right now, I'm not going to fight you on your argument.
Okay.
Just for this season so far. Because Rangers just won the World Series.
And now
The Mavs are 6-1. They're the best clutch team in the NBA, and it's crazy.
Just say I'm right, and it's okay.
So
And the Stars are 7-3.
I'm going to
1.
let you know now, since the Rangers won the World Series, no other team's going to win anything.
I know.
So just
It's
be prepared.
I mean, yeah, the odds of another Dallas team winning. Here's the thing: just from one city winning it, and then even getting to that point's rare, and then actually winning it's crazy. So,
Yeah.
again,
Unless you're Philly and you send 4 teams and they all lose.
that's crazy. That's wow.
Fuck
You
Philly.
would think you'd get one of them at least.
No, it's just I was more talking about the laugh, but yeah, the statistic is crazy as well.
I just hate Philly so much.
Really, you haven't said that before.
Philly
I'll
Philly
say it
will know
every day
you
until I
very
die.
well too.
Fuck Philly.
All right. Well, speaking of the Philadelphia 76ers, they are currently tied atop the Eastern Conference with the Boston Celtics for the best record, followed by the Milwaukee Bucks, Atlanta Hawks, Indiana Pacers, Orlando Magic, Cleveland Cavaliers, New York Knicks, Toronto Raptors, and Brooklyn Nets round out the playoff positions.
The
Again, it's
Miami
early.
Heat are bad.
They are. They've recently won 2 in a row, which again is better than what
Makes their record look better than when it's been.
they were at the bottom of the Eastern Conference. And now they're. I mean, once you're at the bottom, the only way to go is up. So naturally, they have skyrocketed all the way up to 11th. But yeah, we talked about this off audio, where Miami, right? They didn't make the trade for Bradley Beal. Okay, they didn't make the trade for Damian Lillard. They didn't try to go pursue any other superstar in free agency. They're like, you know what? Tyler Hero is our guy.
Nope.
Yeah,
Not ideal.
Here's the thing: Hero's actually been, solid in his production. He's actually improved, like kind of where you expected to be. It hasn't resulted in wins, so it hasn't resulted in the production that Miami Heat fans have expected. Now, granted, we're 7 games into the season.
Yeah, Colin, do you remember last year when we were looking at the Utah Jazz as the 1 seed?
Yeah, no, it happens.
Like with Laurie Markkinen playing the best basketball of his life.
Yeah, no, Indiana Pacers are
I
doing
know a
good.
Jazz fan.
Orlando Orlando
that
Magic
weird?
was doing right. That is weird.
Right?
That is very weird.
Shout out Alyssa.
Shout out to you. No, it's just, to me, like, again, this isn't what the final standings is going to look like, but it is interesting just kind of seeing the opening kind of early takeaways from NBA teams. What's been your biggest takeaway from the Eastern Conference so far?
From the East so far, the Orlando Magic are kind of exceeding expectations. They've been competing really well. They've been in almost every game that they've lost, and they could very easily be one of those one-loss teams. I mean, just the other night they were playing the Mavs, and they were leading, I think, going into the fourth quarter. But then the clutch time Mavs showed up, So, which is so weird to say, considering that the Mavs would like to blow leads. Now they're like making other teams blow leads.
Right.
So,
Yeah, Paolo Banchero is one of my favorite players in the NBA. I just love
he's
his
so
game.
much fun, man. And honestly, it's so hard for me to like Duke players, but this year I'm a big fan of Paolo Banchero and Derek Lively. So who knows? Anything can happen.
Yeah, I think my biggest takeaway is give them time. The Milwaukee Bucks will rise to ascension. I still think they are NBA title favorites. Damian Lillard and Giannis Antetokounmpo are just trying to figure each other out, trying to build that chemistry. Obviously, it's not going to happen overnight, and yet they've arguably had like kind of one of their worst starts in recent memory as a franchise, and they're third. They're literally third in the Eastern Conference. Yeah. I think they'll be fine. Even if they don't get off the gates, even at the end of this month, the end of November, wait until we get, especially after Christmas, January, February, like later into the year, the Milwaukee Bucks are going to be a team worth reckoning with. So, Western Conference, again, we mentioned it, Denver. The Denver Nuggets lead the way, followed by those Dallas Mavericks. And then the Golden State
Warriors. Their only loss is to those Nuggets.
Fair enough. And then to the Golden State Warriors, Minnesota Timberwolves, New Orleans Pelicans, Oklahoma City Thunder, LA Clippers, Houston Rockets, Phoenix Suns, and Los Angeles Lakers round out the top 10. What is your biggest takeaway? Again, we'll keep it non-Mavs related because we'll talk about Mavs in a second.
That's fine. No,
go ahead.
The Phoenix Suns.
Okay. What do you want to talk about this?
Underperforming. And look, Beal hasn't been playing, right?
No, Beal's expected to make his debut tonight.
Yeah.
While we're recording.
But Booker's been playing.
Booker's been out in and out
of the lineup.
Yeah.
Still, I honestly, and I hate to say this because he underperformed by a lot of standards in Phoenix, they're missing Chris Paul. Chris Paul would take that point guard pressure off of a lot of players on that team and really kind of just be a floor general, which is what he does best. But yeah, I really think they're feeling that difference. Obviously, getting Beal back and then if they can get Booker steadily healthy is going to make a difference. But dude, you still have Kevin Durant on his team, and that should be enough to at least hold the ship steady.
I think here's what I'll say. I agree with you on its premise that yes, they should be potentially better than 3 and 4 and 9th in the Western Conference. The fact of the matter is their whole team outside of Devin Booker and Kevin Durant, you could argue, has been really makeshift this offseason with the amount of free agents that they brought in, young guys, old guys, the fact that they brought in Bradley Beal.
Well, and you're also spending a lot of money on Kevin Durant, Devin Booker, and Bradley Beal.
Right. So when you spend that amount of money and then when one or potentially two of those guys aren't there, it does make an impact on your team. Now, Kevin Durant, again, is 35 years old, I want to say.
Yeah.
He's an old veteran guy in this NBA. Like, he's not going to be a guy that you just trot out there every regular season game and expect him to just carry you. I mean, it's getting to the point, especially with the number of injuries that he's had, that it's going to wear on you. So I want to just see what they look like with Bradley Beal. That doesn't necessarily mean that all the problems are going to solve because of Bradley Beal and Devin Booker being back, but I just want to see it before I make any, like, exclusionary, like, hey, sound the alarm kind of thing. I'm not saying that you are, but I'm just saying that I want to see that first before I make any.
Well, didn't they start the season like 1-4?
They started, yeah. So they started 1-3, I think, and then they split their last two.
So it's look, the Suns are just interesting because with the names that they have, you just kind of expect more. And I mean, I look at the Lakers, right? Mm-hmm. We see this year in, year out with the Lakers. The Lakers have 2-3 big names, and then the rest of the team just doesn't gel. The least shocking thing to me on this list is the Lakers being a 10 seed, because what we see every year. The hype is real. They're super overhyped, and then they just maybe fight for a playoff spot.
Yeah. No. Again, maybe that's closer to the ceiling. I had them losing the Western Conference Finals.
The Suns
to the Suns to the Nuggets in our NBA predictions. So I still think they'll rebound and become a better version of themselves later in the season, but ultimately time will tell if that actually comes to fruition. My biggest takeaway from the NBA, non-Dallas related, is the fact that the Denver Nuggets have separated themselves in terms of the NBA. Yeah. I feel like I had them losing in the NBA Finals to the Milwaukee Bucks. They might be the best team that isn't talked about nearly enough as much as they should. Now, Jamal Murray recently went down with a hamstring injury. He's expected to be out the rest of the month at minimum.
3 to 4 weeks,
So he's going to be obviously a key contributor that's no longer there for the Nuggets. But to me, they picked up right where they left off. They essentially subbed in Kentavious Caldwell-Pope into the Bruce Brown role. He's fit in seamlessly. Christian Braun, in his second season, he's really taken a step up.
Isn't it Brown?
Christian Braun. Braun. It may be Brown. So regardless if I said your name wrong, I apologize. The point being is the bench.
Listens.
Yeah, right. The bench has really kind of stepped up for Denver that I did not expect it to. Yeah. I thought that could be a weak point is in their depth, but they may not have the most high profile names coming off. the pine for the Denver Nuggets, but they have been every bit as great as defending champs should be. And I got to give credit to Mike Malone and that entire organization. They've been phenomenal.
Also, shout out Anthony Edwards and the Minnesota Timberwolves.
Yeah, no, 100%. Anthony Edwards, it's like we've been kind of waiting for this ascension with the Timberwolves and Anthony Edwards. And again, it's early, but they look good so far. So I definitely agree. Also, Chris Paul doing work on the Warriors. Yeah. Doing work.
Dude, I hate that he fits so well.
It's crazy, a dynasty that just so smart, so just properly run, gets a player with a high IQ, knows how to play the game and is able to just, suppress his ego a little bit and buy into the system. It's crazy how, when all that stuff comes together, it works.
How it works.
Yeah, just unbelievable.
Look,
unbelievable.
Shout out Mavs. Shout out Kyrie.
Yeah, I think here's the thing. The Mavs,
also, shout out Luka fucking Doncic, man.
Yeah, no, Luka's Luka. We all expect that. I mean, look, we expect him to be a guy that leads them in almost every category. That's just what Luka does. It's the superstar of the game.
31.6 points per game, leading the team. 8.9 assists per game, leading the team.
9.6 rebounds, leading the team. And it's just, he's also averaging steal and a half a block a game. So, I mean, it's just, that's what that's what he does. And Kyrie Irving has been efficient off the ball. He's really kind of gelled with Luka, averaging his 20 points.
But something I've noticed too, Luka is playing off the ball more.
He is. He's allowing Kyrie to kind of have more free reign. He trusts Kyrie now to kind of just, in spurts, hey, when Luka needs to kind of save his energy for the defensive side of the floor, hey, Kyrie, you take over and do what you do best. Tim Hardaway Jr. also has been really effective and efficient. How long will that last? We'll see.
We're in the early Tim Hardaway
early season
experience right now.
Exactly.
Dude, we got to talk about Derek Lively, though.
He's been really good. Grant Williams, I also just really quickly, 15 points on, I'm not sure if it shows his efficiency. Let me pull this up real quick. Grant Williams has been, 55% from the floor. He has been lethal in terms of efficiency for the Mavericks.
Look, the Mavs haven't had a legit threatening big in a long time. And Derek Lively has come in. He protects the rim. He protects the lane. He has been a difference maker from this team. And I'm seeing a lot of things because he's being coached a lot by Tyson Chandler. That's kind of his mentor right now. And I'm seeing a lot of things that remind me a lot of Tyson Chandler in him at a very young age. And the fact that he's picking up on these things so quick, it's so beautiful to see, man.
Oh, it's a big reason why he's, averaging one of the leading minutes. He's sixth in the Mavericks team in minutes so far this season. And as a rookie, that's something that's, a vote of confidence if you're Jason Kidd and the head coaching staff. To me, again, if Derek Lively can, it's hard for rookies to make that adjustment from, whether they play in the G League, the college, or international, whatever, to the NBA, like just schedule every night and the wear and tear. If Lively can be an active body come, April, May, and potentially even June, that's something that Maverick fans should be really excited about because I think, at the top of his game, he's the best big man that they have.
Yep.
Bar none. As a rookie.
I agree.
As a rookie. So, yeah. Is there anything else you want to talk NBA-wise?
I think that's it, man.
All right.
I love the courts. The in-season tournament courts.
Here's the thing. Some of them I like.
Some of them are tough to look at.
No, some of them I'm genuinely, I don't know what they look like in person. On TV, they make me they give me a headache.
The Nuggets one is tough.
It was really tough. And then there was another one, like the Pelicans one I wasn't a fan of. There's a couple of them that I'm like, yeah, they need to.
But some of them look so cold, man. I love the Heat one.
Also, I'm not a fan of courts distracting me from the play of basketball. Like, I don't want to. Here's the thing: if I notice it at first and I'm like, hey, that's a cool looking court, don't keep me trying to keep looking at the court and you focusing or hyper focusing on it.
Yeah, true.
So that's my only thing.
Yeah. I liked Houston's astronaut.
Dude, the astronaut court is so sick.
Yeah, I mean it fits.
Yeah.
So.
Moving on over to some college football.
You want to do the top 25?
Sure, we can run it down. The AP top 25.
For week 11.
Georgia, number 1. Michigan Spies, number 2. Ohio State, number 3.
No, hold on.
Florida.
What?
We'll get into that later. Because
Florida State,
here's the thing,
number 4.
Because you're going to do that with
Washington, 5.
Michigan. You got to do it with Ohio State, too. Because Ohio State's in this as well, along with other members of the Big Ten, apparently.
Yeah, apparently.
according to Michigan.
Yeah, Washington number 5, Oregon number 6, Texas 7, Alabama 8, Penn State 9, Ole Miss 10. Rocket that out for now. So yeah, as we heard, a lot of finger pointing's going on.
Yeah, well, here's the thing. I said it before that Michigan was the dumb team that got caught. So that's on them, right? Like they 100% not excusing any of their violations that they committed. And we're still learning of violations as of recording this. I mean, literally tomorrow something can come out.
Man.
And we're learning stuff. So I don't want to fully just sit there and, deem Michigan at the level of Penn State or SMU like death penalty worthy until we get all the facts.
They're creeping up that way.
They are. Here's the thing. What I'll say, a lot of everything that's come out, again, when a scandal comes out, obviously it's going to be made to look bigger than what it is. The thing with sign stealing is the fact that if you take it at its face, right now, obviously excusing Michigan for a second, if you take it at its face, it's not necessarily the biggest crime that any athletic director has committed or any athletic group that's committed compared to like what Penn State did, compared to what SMU did, stuff in that general. So I'm not saying like, again, not to excuse it, but it's not at the level of like, we need to disband this program like this. They're the worst, whatever. What I'm saying also is the fact that I knew this was going to happen, that Michigan, along with doing this, realizes, hey, we're not the only team doing this. Like, Michigan wasn't the just big brain operation behind this whole operation in the country, where Ohio State and other members of the Big Ten have been engaging in this activity. So
they're just bringing the whole, like every ship down with them.
Exactly. And then,
a wise man once said, 9 out of every 10 teams are cheating. The one team that's not's in last place.
That's fair. And that's, that could very well be the Big Ten at this point.
Yep.
So here's the thing. Michigan, again, they're going to get the cheating label, and that's, they've earned that for being dumb enough to get caught. I'm just saying let's hold off in terms of, like, let's single out Michigan compared to, like, okay, Ohio State's now getting investigated.
No, let's single out Michigan.
That's fine. I mean, that's just what you do. That's fine.
Well, allegedly, possibly tomorrow, something might be coming down.
Again, here's the thing.
But
also, so
they keep finding stuff. So
no, here's the thing. Here's the thing. So the NCAA, they sent down a specific motion, and forgive me, I don't have the motion name in front of me, but basically, so the NCAA leveled down that like they're formally investigating Michigan. Okay.
Yes.
Michigan does not have to respond to said investigation or even comply with the NCAA until 90 days after said filing, which that was done, I believe, earlier this week, if I'm not mistaken.
Right.
90 days past that date is the end of the season. So technically, we could go through the rest of the college football season, the college football playoff, the college football championship, if Michigan gets that far, without any repercussions for the Wolverines program. So don't expect that there's necessarily going to be a resolution sometime soon until maybe 2024. This is still a very long tail in terms of what the end result is going to be for this Michigan Wolverines program.
Yeah, and the Big Ten's waiting for the NCAA's investigation. So
yeah, which again, like Michigan does not have to comply with until after the season. So they'll do it, and they may push it back even further next year, and however long they can delay it. Yeah, don't be surprised again if JJ McCarthy and the crew are playing in the national championship game. So
let's talk about some football scores.
Let's do it
from week 10.
Ohio State
35.
How are they number one?
Because they're 9-0.
Like, here's the thing. They're
because
9-0.
Georgia actually competes against teams like Missouri.
No, here's the thing. Georgia, I would have rather had Georgia number one than Ohio State number one. Like, to me, again, despite everything we just said about Michigan, Michigan has been the more impressive team than Ohio State this year. Like, Ohio State's been the third most impressive team, in my opinion, compared to Georgia and compared to Michigan. Now, again, I would have had Michigan higher.
JMU should be number one.
Okay. Yeah, sure. Let's go off the rails with that one. Georgia, if you want to give them that, should be number one. Michigan should be number two. Ohio State should be number three. I have no idea how the Buckeyes are ranked number one.
Dude, yeah, it's actually kind of nuts. It was very unexpected.
Yeah, when the first college football playoff came out, they were ranked number one. And it was because they came off, I believe it was the Penn State win that they got. And it's, to me, Kyle McCourt, and again, Marvin Harrison Jr. is a beast, no doubt about it. This Ohio State team has not been one of the better ones that they've had in recent memory, and somehow they're getting the favorable doubt of being number one.
It's kind of nuts. But they handled business against Rutgers. It was close early on. Then in the third quarter, OSU gets this massive pick six that just opened the floodgates. Ohio State goes on to win 35-16. Moving on. Number 12, Georgia visits number
12.
Number 12, Missouri visits number 2, Georgia. Takes an L, 21-30. Carson Beck, game manager, did his job. Won Georgia this game.
254 yards, 2 touchdowns.
I imagine when Georgia plays actually somebody worth competency
Yeah.
in the SEC championship game. Again, may or may not be without Brock, or may be without Brock Bowers.
Yeah.
Yep.
Just worth it.
Look, man, I don't want to talk down on Mizzou, though. Mizzou's had an incredible season this year. They're 3-2 in the SEC. They were 7-0 before SEC play. They have really competed in all their games, and I think that Mizzou has a bright future in the SEC. Had they won this game, they'd be fighting for a spot in that SEC championship game. But
they did.
But they didn't. They didn't. They're probably still a couple years away. But if they keep on this trajectory, Mizzou's going to be very competitive.
Let me ask you this: Missouri right now, right? Georgia, obviously they're not better than.
No.
They're not better than LSU.
No.
They're not better than Alabama.
No.
I don't know if I'd necessarily take them over Tennessee, to be honest.
I'd take Mizzou over Tennessee.
Okay, that's debatable. Yeah. To me, at best, they're 4th or 5th in the conference. And again, for them, respectably, but let's be honest here, they're going up against Georgia.
Yeah, but this is a Mizzou team that used to sit in dead last and switch places with Vandy.
Great for them.
Okay, so there's nothing wrong with saying they should get respect.
Here's the thing: respect is fine.
They're going to be a game when whoever they play.
At the end of the day, I felt like we were expecting more from a down Georgia team, where Missouri was coming in, granted on the road. I felt like they kind of let us down a little bit. I mean, again, they were in it in the 4th quarter. I'm not going to sit there and hold too much against them, but Missouri's just kind of fallen flat from what early season expectations I had of them personally.
Yeah. That's fine. Number 3, Michigan blocks out all the noise, handles business against Purdue, 41-13. J.J. McCarthy, 335 yards, but every touchdown came on the ground.
It feels like a us versus the world mentality that Michigan has.
It's got to be, man.
And
if this punishment doesn't come till after the season, I guarantee they can go and win this natty.
And the thing is, too, is like Michigan players really aren't involved in this necessarily in terms of like the players shouldn't feel bad about the actions of, potentially the
what the coaches
or
are doing. Yeah.
Right. So
they just think they're getting coached really well.
Yeah. No,
like, dang, bro, our coaches are reading the field
You're
so
right.
well. No, they're reading those signs real well, bro.
Now, here's the thing. And they've got...
Allegedly.
Thank you, Brendan. Allegedly. And here's the thing. Their next 3 weeks are really going to determine the future of this team, obviously. There's 2 of their 3 biggest games of the year occur in the next 3 weeks. I'm really interested to see what Michigan looks like against the top of the Big Ten. So...
Yeah. Moving on over. Florida State takes care of business against Pittsburgh, 24-7.
Jordan Travis... I like him so much, and I want to love him.
I mean, 360 yards, 1 touchdown.
He's just below what I thought he could be.
Here's
the thing. He's so good, and he's progressed like I thought he would. He's a dual threat. He can make all the throws. He's a really great playmaker. He's just not quite there, like in terms of like what I thought he could be in this college football season. And again, you know what's crazy? He's at that level, and they're undefeated. They're 9-0 and they're 4th, and they're on track to make the college football playoff. Florida State, listen, they're so talented. The transfer system has worked. As long as they don't slip up, they will be in the college football playoff.
Yep. And hey, our predictions won't look as dumb.
That's true.
So
right.
As long as they make it right.
Yeah,
but
speaking of our
moving
predictions,
all right, we got to talk about a shootout, man, in the Pac-12. Unfortunately, this lost me $25, but number 5 Washington defeats number 20 USC 52-42, and that statement that USC does not play a lick of defense could not have been more apparent in this than in
no
this game.
kidding.
And by no fault to Caleb Williams. I mean,
that
that man played his heart out, 312 yards, 3 touchdowns. Yes, I give respect.
Yeah, no, it's Lincoln Riley that he has.
You're right.
I will absolutely despise that man.
It's Lincoln Riley. Come on.
I told you I went Minnesota to
You're
play
right.
the
You're
Caleb
right. You're right.
Williams
You're right.
sweepstakes.
Yeah,
Where have
man.
you been?
I'm fucking dumb.
I don't appreciate him leaving.
What just happened to his mic? That was
know. That was
interesting.
weird.
Okay, but we can hear you though.
Yeah,
Yeah,
all right.
we're-
I don't appreciate him leaving,
Okay.
but he left. And again, either way,
And he also went there for the coach, So.
again, you
Right.
pick and choose your
Fuck
battles.
Lincoln Riley.
And
Right.
there you go. Now you're at a place
There
where
we go. Gotcha.
you're 7-3.
Here's what
Sucks for you.
Here's what I'll say. USC did fire defensive coordinator Alex Grinch after this one. Long overdue. I
I've
think.
done it before this one, man. I might have won my $25.
Here's the thing with their defense. They can only go up. right?
Yeah.
Like their defense is so bad. How much farther low can they get? I mean, realistically,
Yeah, did they get a stop against Washington?
They did. They got, I think, 1 or 2.
Okay, I mean, technically, you could be a little bit worse, but
Right, that's what I'm saying.
still, like,
I was
it's
like,
not.
You can go no stop.
That's really bad.
Like it's one of those things where I feel like, again, they made a couple of transfers on the defensive side of the ball. Beryl Alexander, I think, is a next Sunday level
That
player.
man is a stud.
Right. And I think they may have 1 or 2 more guys that could play on Sundays. The thing is USC is horribly coached on the defensive side of the ball.
Yeah,
They are terrible. Now, that doesn't mean that they're going to turn into the 85 Bears. No,
just
absolutely
horrible.
not. But Caleb Williams, I think the fact that he has to play Superman every week is unrealistic for USC to have any chance at competing for even a respectable bowl game. They're not even getting into the Sugar Bowl game that they got into last year and they got beat.
So we got to bring it up. Should Caleb Williams sit
No.
No,
or keep playing to
absolutely
No.
not.
keep your draft stock?
Here's the
looking
thing.
good?
So I don't agree with this, but Caleb Williams, after this game against Washington, he went up to the fans and he kind of had a moment with his mom, his dad, like his family, right?
Also, fuck ESPN for keeping that camera on him for so long.
That, and not only, again, people took from that was that he was kind of like emotional. Why weren't you doing that with your teammates? Why are you trying to make a
Do
scene?
you think he wasn't?
No, that's what I'm saying. No, that's what people were
No,
saying.
that's what I'm saying. Like, no, I'm agreeing with you.
Right. And so here's what I'll say. Caleb Williams has been the consummate professional. At the second he took the quarterback position starting against that Texas-Oklahoma game, the Red River rivalry, when he came back from all those points down. To me, he is the bona fide number 1 pick, and I think everybody has came out and said what a great leader he is, what a great teammate he is, what a great, just consummate pro that he has been at the college football level. And I just think that in a moment where, the season's not going where you want to, you just lose a heartbreaker on the road, which, again, you 312 yards, 3 touchdowns, and I think he added some on the ground as well. Look,
he probably did.
yeah, it's to be expected. And the fact that you put up 42 points, he did add a touchdown on the ground. So the fact that he's doing all this and he's not coming out with the win, he has a right to be emotional. Now, look, when we're emotional, I can say for a sure fact that I'm not always perfect. Whenever I, let my emotions get the best of me, Caleb probably had a moment. And again, he's a 20-year-old, 19-year-old kid,
Something like that.
so it's just like, let the man have his moment. Again, he's with his family. He said afterwards, he's like, I just want to go cuddle with my dogs and watch Netflix. Like, he's a regular kid. And the fact that we're expecting so much from him at this early age shows the level of expectations that we have for this kid and realizing that, hey, he's doing the best that he can. Like, he can't
And it
overcome
just shows
bad
like
coaching.
he's probably been holding that in for a while, man. And at some point, like it's healthy to feel your emotions, and especially as an athlete, you're out there not only competing mentally but physically week after week. And as a young kid, you can get trashed and talked about in the media, but you're not allowed to cry about it. Like,
I would argue he's one of the biggest faces in college football recent memory.
oh, without a doubt.
Like, in terms of just, name, marketability, like people that don't watch college football, obviously we all watch college football in this room. People that don't know college football know who Caleb Williams is.
Exactly.
And it's a lot of pressure. And again, when you're 3 losses in a season where you expect to potentially compete for a playoff, I mean, again, it's frustrating. And I sympathize with him 100%.
And next week doesn't get easier because they play Oregon.
Which we'll talk about that one
Which,
later.
moving on right now, actually.
Yeah.
Number 6, Oregon, 63-19 over Cal. Bo Nix, 386, 4 tutties with only 1 pick. Cullen, you are 2 wins away
Well, again,
from
we'll
owning a Bo Nix jersey.
Here's the thing. We'll get to that whenever we do our preview and stuff. But look, Bo Nix, again, I said it. He was going to beat Cal. I'm sorry, it's Cal.
Right.
Like, I'm not necessarily fazed by the fact that, he did what he did. And look, Oregon's built a really good team this year. They are, in my opinion, a playoff-worthy team, college football playoff-worthy team. And they ultimately took care of business against a team at home like they should have. So,
So let's break down the rest of their schedule.
we're going to do that.
Well, we'll
No,
do
we're
that.
gonna
We'll do that after
later.
this, yeah.
Later.
Okay.
All right.
Later.
Death, taxes, and Texas blowing leads.
Except they didn't blow this one.
Well, they did blow the lead. They just didn't blow the game.
Well, 33-30 as the Texas Longhorns
In overtime.
beat the Kansas State Wildcats. Andrews, what was it? Was it a separate bet or was it the same bet that did not cash?
This was
them?
a separate bet.
Okay,
It was
separate
so
bet.
painful.
Gotcha.
Why did you go for it?
Here's the thing. Both teams.
And my roommate called this too. We're sitting on the couch watching this game, and he goes, it was like second down and they didn't get it, and goes, dude, this is going to be one of those things where they go for it on fourth down just to win the game. They're not going to get it, and Texas is going to squeak out of this, and it's exactly what happened.
Here's the thing. Both teams had terrible play calls. So Kansas State, Texas had it in the final play, or their final possession of regulation. They ran this weird toss play on fourth down, which never works, and gave Kansas State life, right, which they go down and, they force overtime and whatnot. Kansas State also had the terrible play calling in overtime, in which case you didn't play to your strength. You ultimately allowed Texas to kind of feast on their strength, and they were able to squeak away with the win. And that's honestly the biggest difference between a team like Kansas State and a team like Texas. Is Texas, we've always said it, right? Texas has the athletes and the talent advantage over a lot of these teams in the Big 12, so you have to be smarter than them. You have to be schematically better than them. You have to execute better than Texas can. And Kansas State did it, especially a lot in the second half, but ultimately in overtime when it counted the most, they didn't execute the way that they had been so late in that second half, especially when Will Howard went on that stretch where it felt like he was scoring every drive. And, Kansas State had a chance to win this one, and ultimately they didn't get it done. Texas, again, here's what I'll say about this, and this is kind of one of my biggest takeaways. They squeaked away with this win. No doubt about it. 33-30 in overtime. Malik Murphy played an absolute terrible game. If Malik Murphy is this bad, how bad is Arch Ant?
Dude, that's what I'm saying.
Like, it is so...
Yeah.
It is not good
but
for the Manning
what's crazy is when they were in camp, they were saying that Arch Manning was outperforming both quarterbacks in camp?
No, I don't. Here's the thing. Who is your source on that? Because Quinn Ewers was the guy that was dominating camp headlines.
Okay, maybe I had that completely wrong.
Yeah,
I thought I was hearing that Arch Manning was performing
here's
really
the
well in
thing.
camp.
Here's the thing. They may have been boosting up Arch Manning.
Okay, just not over Quinn.
Yeah, over Quinn. Cool. But again, Malik Murphy.
Still, just if Malik Murphy's not that good.
He's not. He's not a top level, Power 5 level quarterback.
No. And you know what? Starter. I will say this. Malik Murphy was a top rated recruit coming out of high school. And I think what affects guys like this is sitting on the bench for so long, right? You lose that momentum of playing week to week and then being the starting guy with first team reps. It sucks. But now Malik Murphy has had a couple weeks of that. And for him not to get back into that stride, that's scary.
Yeah, the thing is like, I understand that, guys need momentum, and that's a huge thing in sports, and obviously rhythm and all that. It's huge at the quarterback position. The point being, though, is that not every guy comes in as a true freshman and starts. You have to realize going in that not everyone comes in, not even Tim Tebow started as a freshman. Not even Johnny Manziel started as a true freshman.
There's very, very few successful quarterbacks.
That's what I'm saying. So you have to be ready for the ability to come in, get used to a college-level weight room, learn their schemes, learn the coach's playbook and everything, learn the guys around you, their rhythms.
And you're at the ripe age of 18.
Right, exactly. Like trying to grow up like that. Malik Murphy, I get it, but ultimately at this point, he has been a disappointment as a recruit for the Texas Longhorns.
Without a doubt.
So,
moving on over, Alabama, LSU.
I called this one.
Alabama, 42, LSU 28. Okay, Jalen Milroe is really finding his stride.
Yeah, he is.
These last couple weeks, he's performed super well, and he's performing like the quarterback Alabama expected him to be.
They're playing Georgia, by the way.
I just gotta say, this parlayed with the USC game had to be one of the most painful bets I've ever placed in my life. So
here's the thing: Jaden Daniels, you could argue, is the Heisman favorite despite LSU's record.
Yeah,
he has been phenomenal this year.
He's been insane,
and it was not enough to overcome the Alabama Crimson Tide in Tuscaloosa with Jalen Milroe now finally kind of just finding his rhythm, realizing, hey, listen, I may even be run first, but I can still throw the ball, and I can still use that to my advantage. Alabama and their coaching staff realizes, okay, you know what? He's our guy for this year. Let's make the most out of him. They're placating to his strengths. Again, receiving-wise, they don't have the greatest receivers. It's not Jerry Jeudy, Jalen Waddle, the whole crew that they had back in the day. This is a team where they got to build it on the run game, build it on their defense, especially their front seven, and just try to bully teams. They may not be able to do it against Georgia, but against a team like LSU that's not been the best coach this year, Alabama was able to get the job done. And like I said, they are going to be the ones that play Georgia in the SEC championship game. And to me, this is the scariest team that Georgia does not want to face, is this Alabama team.
Yep, I agree. Moving on over to Bedlam, the final edition as of now. Oklahoma State will forever say they got the last win over Oklahoma. 27-24. Brendan, how you feeling?
Penalties killed them. I mean, good Lord. That second half, it just was flag after flag after flag. Venables got a flag. I was just like, what is happening?
Yeah. Look, and that's not to say Dylan
if they
Gabriel.
wouldn't have gotten flags, it'd be a different story.
Yeah. But it is not. It's a 3-point loss to your biggest in-state rival, Oklahoma State, in the final edition of Bedlam at Oklahoma State. Man. But Dylan Gabriel performed very well, 344 yards, 1 touchdown, 1 interception. But ultimately just wasn't enough.
I'm just going to pull up something real quick here. Because now with that loss, now Oklahoma's lost 2 games this year. Right. So they sit here, right?
They're at like 19.
Well, here's the thing. The big thing is the conference record. So Texas currently has 5-1, 8-1 record. Oklahoma State has a 5-1 conference record with a 7-2 record. So they currently have the edge over Kansas and Oklahoma in the Big 12. So now we were sitting here, when we were talking about post-Red River rivalry, we're thinking Oklahoma, Texas, could it be like a second meeting between the two? Yeah. And now Oklahoma's now on the outside looking in, potentially like, okay, we need to find ourselves back a way into this championship match. And again, Oklahoma, let me just look at their schedule here. They play West Virginia,
BYU, and TCU.
Okay, so that's relatively, you should win those games.
Yes.
Ahead of them, Kansas, they play Texas Tech, Kansas State, and Cincinnati. Kansas State will be tough. And it's at home versus Kansas State. So that could be a swing one right there. And then Oklahoma State has UCF, Houston, and BYU. So pretty easy schedule for the Cowboys. And then the Longhorns end with TCU, Iowa State, and Texas Tech. So which out of those two, because I just listed all their schedules, which two do you think Oklahoma could jump in order to potentially make the Big 12 championship if you had to guess right now, Brendan?
If Iowa State can kind of pull something, I think they have a chance against UT, at least just from UT schedule alone.
Night games in Ames, Iowa are no joke. And they just announced that Texas game is a 7 p.m. kickoff in Ames, Iowa.
Because I don't see
those guys know how to perform at night.
I don't see TCU doing much. And sorry, Andrew, Tech's just not going to get it done unless you'll randomly have that game where you just go off and
if we're going to do it this season, it's probably going to be against Texas. So
here's the thing.
We're motivated by Oklahoma State too, man. We want to do exactly what they just did.
Well, and Texas is going to be motivated as well after the comments that the Big 12 commissioner made in regards to Texas.
My boy Brett Yormark.
So listen, there's going to be a lot of storylines going into that final regular season game of the year. I'm going to be very much tuning into that Texas versus Texas Tech game.
So will I, bro.
And OSU, maybe UCF?
Yeah.
Maybe?
No.
But I don't see Houston or BYU doing anything.
I think there's like two of the newcomers have won one Big 12 game, and that's BYU and UCF. But yeah, it's not good.
So
staying in Texas A&M at Ole Miss, 38-35. That was a fun game to watch.
How good in terms of relative history is this Ole Miss team compared to other Ole Miss teams?
This is a talented Ole Miss team.
Like, I'm trying to think of better Ole Miss teams than this one, and obviously on paper.
Yeah, your best comparisons are probably like the A.J. Brown and
DK Metcalf
years.
Right.
But
Dart good.
Jackson Dart has been playing lights out. They're 5-1 in the SEC. This is a better team than Mizzou.
He had
honestly, I'd take them over Mizzou.
So there you go. Yeah. That's another team. Excuse me.
387 yards, 2 touchdowns by Dart.
Lane Kiffin deserves his respect.
Without a doubt.
I think he's been huge in Jackson Dart's development.
Huge. And then now here we are again. Another week of talking about Jimbo's buyout.
Yeah, dude, look, like I said, 80, 70, and 60 the next 3 years.
Just insane.
Off seasons, right? He doesn't even get to 10 million until the year 2030.
Yeah, it's absolutely nuts. They are so screwed.
They're nuts.
Continuing on.
Penn State, 51.
Did you think I was going to take over?
I'm done with Penn State. I don't care that they won 51-15. Like, the fact that they had that performance against Maryland, unless they perform well against Michigan, I do not want to hear anything about this Penn State team. This is just classic Penn State. They have all this hype. Yeah. They have all this talent and everything, and they're like, yes, we'll finally challenge the top 2 and maybe even other teams in the college football universe, and they can beat up teams like Maryland.
Yep.
But when it comes to the big dogs, that's all I care about with Penn State. And up to this point, unless it's a big dog game, I don't care about 51 points against Maryland.
All right. Well, then we'll just move right on. Virginia Tech, Louisville, 34-3.
Louisville, again, could be a sneaky team in the ACC championship game for Florida State. They had that one blunder early in the year. I think it was against NC State where they lost by like 2 scores or whatever. Yeah, Louisville could be really competitive. They know how to play smart football. That's the best compliment I can give them. They know how to play smart level football. They know who they are. They know what they need to do to win, and they execute.
Yep.
Biggest compliment I can give the Cardinals.
Moving on over, Notre Dame dethroned by Clemson.
Yeah, Notre Dame
31-23.
has hit that part of the Notre Dame season where it's like hype, and then they drop, and then it's like you are here
Hartman
at the
is
bottom.
not
This
a good
happens
game.
every year.
No, this was 2 of the most disappointing teams in the nation battling off against each other, and I, for one, could not be more happier because these are 2 of the loudest fan bases in college football. They always hype up their team even when they're not good, and we're here for it. We're here for both these downfalls. So yeah, respect to Clemson for getting the job done at home.
I honestly wish, in that case, Notre Dame would have won it, just because Dabo's comments on NIL are just so idiotic.
Yeah,
At
but
least
Notre
Notre
Dame's
Dame
fan base
is the worst in college football, without a doubt.
Moving on over, Oregon State takes on Dion and won.
Yeah,
26-19.
I said it last week, and I think I said it 2 weeks ago. Colorado's not making a bowl game.
No.
Who are they beating in the last stretch of their Pac-12 schedule?
none.
Let's
No one.
look at their schedule.
It's all losses.
Arizona,
Loss.
Dude, the
Washington
silence,
State,
Loss.
and then Utah.
Loss.
Yeah.
the silence from the media on Colorado is deafening, man.
By the way, they have to win 2 of those.
Yeah.
Not 1. They have to win 2 of those to make a bowl
No.
game.
They're going to
No way.
suddenly beat 2 ranked teams.
Yeah, not happening.
Haven't
And
done it yet.
Oregon State, again, they just find a way to win, man. They're a gritty team that just knows how to get it done.
Moving on over, UConn, Tennessee. Not much.
We're getting to that stretch where the SEC gives their teams a cakewalk week where they can schedule a non-con game just to kind of keep winning. And it's the weirdest thing, man. They're the only conference that does it. Like, dude, just keep your non-cons at the start of the season and then stop doing this bullshit. Like, it's so annoying.
Also, look for draft analysts to prop up Joe Milton.
Off of a game against UConn.
No, here's the thing, but also just the fact that, again, it's in the colder weather, his strong arm, like
Yeah.
he's going to flash during these months of the year. And again, respect to Joe Milton. You're not even a first rounder. I'm not even sure if you're a day 2 guy.
Yeah.
Dang.
No, I agree.
Moving on over, Utah, Arizona State. Utah takes care of business, 55-3.
Bryson Barnes, I believe Bryson's his first name for Utah. Look, he had a better week this week than obviously against Oregon. He has a bright future for Utah, and Utah's going to be in the competition here whenever they move conferences, obviously. Someone's mic is on, or someone's computer is on. I think Utah, again, against an Arizona State team that's just, they're hanging on for dear life. They're going through coaching changes. They're going through transfer portals, all this stuff. They're not a team that's going to compete this year. No. And Utah took care of business at home. So, respect.
Look, man, yeah, we got to do it again. Another week of talking about Arizona beating a ranked team.
Yep.
27-10. Time to put respect on Arizona's name. This team is good. They're talented, and they are making a potential run to a Pac-12 championship game appearance.
So here's the thing: you'll give
Sleeper run.
You'll give the credit to Arizona. I'll give kind of the discredit, if you will, to UCLA. They're without their kind of freshman stud quarterback who was injured a couple weeks ago.
Yes. Yeah.
They just have not been the same team since. And Chip Kelly, you've got to be able to adjust, and he has not been able to do that. So, yeah, I don't know. I'm looking for UCLA to improve.
And moving on to the next game, we got Kansas State, Iowa State again.
Kansas
28, Iowa State 21.
And look, I know I just said night games and Ames are wild, and Iowa State likes to usually win those games. This was one where Kansas prevailed, but it's a 1-score game. And what, you good?
Yeah, no, I just was wiping something off my face.
Oh, okay. I thought you were like giving me a face palm. Like, here he goes.
No,
again.
I was just scratching my
This
face.
fucking guy. But yeah, Kansas 28-21 over Iowa State. This Kansas team is for real, man.
Yeah, no, they deserve to be in a really respectable bowl game this season. I really like this team.
Yep. All right, moving to the next game. We're some big Tulane guys over here. 13-10 against East Carolina.
Shout out to my Green family. They're holding it down. So doing their thing.
H-Time, hold it down.
And then when the final game's moving on over to the Army Air Force game. Air Force looks like they don't know how to play football, and apparently Army does. 23-3.
Yeah, this was a bad recruiting pitch by Air Force.
Yeah, no kidding.
Bad.
Yeah, so
So yeah, that about does it for week 10. We'll take a look at week 11 here.
All right. We were talking about that Penn State Michigan game. This is it.
yep, it is.
It's Penn State Michigan week.
It is. Golly, 11 a.m. too, which is so dumb.
Big noon kickoff.
This should be a night game at Penn State, whiteout, the whole freaking 9 yards.
God, dude, yeah.
But we have it at 11 a.m. And again, this is Michigan's really big first test since their whole scandal came out. This is Penn State's first big test since their game against Ohio State. I'm really interested to see this one. I'm going to roll with Michigan because, again, they were my national champion pick before the year. Yeah. So I'm going to stick with the Wolverines in this one.
You know where I got to go, man. My Big Ten champ pick, Penn State. Hoping they can bounce back. They learned something from that Ohio State game and give Michigan their first L of the season.
And I was on the Michigan train with Cullen earlier, so I'm still going to be riding it.
Yeah, and also weird thing just to point out. So if Penn State beats Michigan and then Michigan beats Ohio State, we've got a 3-way tie at the top of that conference.
That's going to be wild.
So we'll see if it works out that way.
Going into the second game, Bama, Kentucky.
Bama.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, enough said there.
But I took Kentucky -10. So sorry, +10.
Plus, that's interesting. I don't know. We'll see.
Next game, we got Kansas versus Andrews, Texas Tech.
Kansas.
Yeah, I'm sorry. Tech has not been living up to any of the expectations. Tulane, Tulsa. That's Tulane.
Yeah, I mean, anybody can pick against Tulane, the Green Wave? Nah.
No.
No.
Arizona, Colorado.
Arizona.
Here's your chance, Colorado.
Nope.
No. Arizona goes into Boulder, Folsom Field, and handles Colorado.
Yeah. Easy.
I expect this to be kind of similar to the what game was it? The game where Travis Hunter was just dead tired and that receivers. It was Stanford.
Yes. Yeah.
I could see a game like that in this one.
Yep.
So
moving on over, Baylor, Kansas State. Kansas State.
Yeah,
I don't foresee Baylor.
I think this is a bounce back game for Kansas State. Baylor's not that great of a team this year. Yeah.
So Miami, Florida State.
Florida State, Seminoles. I'm so off Miami. It's not even funny.
You left that train.
The second they pulled that BS at the end of the game with Mario Cristobal, I don't even feel comfortable just associating myself with Miami.
Yeah. Moving on over, Utah versus Washington.
Sneaky game for Washington.
Could be a good one.
Here's the thing. If they're playing at their A game, they can beat anybody in the Pac-12. They showed it when they played against Oregon.
Yeah, man, but
if they don't,
they put up 52 points against a USC team that cannot play defense. And
do you trust Barnes?
They also
on the road?
allowed 40.
Do you trust Barnes on the road to go in to Seattle, into Washington, and knock off the Huskies? Yes or no?
No.
That's what you're asking yourself. And that pause gives me all the answer I need. I'm taking the Huskies.
Yeah, I'm taking the Huskies.
All right. Moving next one, Tennessee.
13-14.
Hey, our little debate that we had earlier, we'll finally find out the answer.
Yeah.
I'll roll with Tennessee and Joe
Mizzou.
Okay.
Right. So I will choose Tennessee.
Okay.
So
interesting.
Oklahoma State, UCF.
I'll take the Cowboys.
Taking the Cowboys.
I have to take UCF.
All right, boys. All right. Hold on. We got to talk about this next one. Rutgers,
Why do
Iowa.
we need to talk about
The over/under.
That's
oh
why.
My gosh.
That's why.
On my book, -29. Hammered.
The under.
I've done it 3 weeks now in a row. Let's see if we go 3 for 3.
Listen, I'll pick Iowa to win the game. I don't. This game will be in probably the quad box that I'm watching, but it's not going to be the one I'm focusing on at all.
Oh, me neither.
It's just there to be the place filler for the next game.
Yes,
it's there because YouTube TV forces me to watch a fourth game that they select personally, and that one will probably be it.
Yeah. All right, moving on over. Oregon State, Stanford.
Oregon State.
Yep.
Yep.
Here we go.
This is going to be a great
Here's a good one.
game.
Georgia, Ole Miss.
Here's the thing. Ole Miss, the way that Ole Miss wins this game is they get off to a hot start, which Georgia's been known to get off to slow first half starts.
Yep.
And also Jackson Dart, excuse me, I don't know why I just, butcher that name. Jackson Dart in the second half has to be able to execute and not turn the ball over versus this Georgia team. If this was in Mississippi, I'd be more apt to pick the Rebels. I'm going to lean with Georgia.
Yep.
Yeah, so I think that's going to be the difference. I'm going to pull up the spread here while Andrew gives his
It's
thoughts.
10.5.
10.5.
Yeah, I'm taking Ole Miss plus 10.5 all day.
That might be a smart spread to bet, but either way, Georgia money line is where I'm
Yeah,
going.
it's my hedge for the other one. So
Fair.
Oklahoma, West Virginia is the next one there. I'm going to have to ride with OU.
Yeah, I think Oklahoma bounces back after a rough one.
I think Oklahoma bounces back, but you cannot count out West Virginia. This is the West Virginia team who last year was just the armpit of the Big 12, and this year is competing week after week. I say West Virginia keeps it close.
And moving on to our next game, Ohio State.
Ohio
Michigan
State.
Ohio State.
That's the easiest one.
What is Michigan State at this point?
They are a shell.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Hey, what's the line, Andrew? Or the spread?
On that one, 31.5. I'm taking OSU minus 31.5.
Jeez.
Yep. So moving on to the next game here, Texas TCU.
I'm going to roll with UT.
Texas minus 10. Easy.
I need TCU just to help out OU. So
No, that'd be great. I would. Happily.
So
I think anyone in this room would take that.
Yep.
Yeah.
Moving on to the next one, LSU Florida.
Daniel's Masterclass LSU by a lot.
Yeah.
They cover this spread easy. 13.5. They win by 3 touchdowns.
North Carolina Duke.
Roll with Drake May.
One of the biggest rivalries in all sports.
Duke's just too hobbled.
They are. They're just way too hobbled. But yeah, I'm gonna take Drake May, North Carolina.
I agree.
And
Duke covers though.
like we were talking about earlier, USC Oregon.
So this is the final. This is the Pac-12 After Dark game. Oregon.
Two of the most talked about Heisman contenders.
Yep. Caleb Williams versus Bo Nix in Autzen Stadium in Eugene, Oregon. So I had USC before this season as somebody that can beat Oregon. If you're asking me
now,
Bo Nix jersey bet aside, I probably lean with the home team just out of my irrational, just thinking brain head.
But
because
you don't want that jersey.
Here's the thing. I'm in it, so I'm going to be picking USC, but I don't feel great about that bet.
All right.
I just need Caleb Williams to be Superman like he's capable of being, and USC not to be the worst defense in the Pac-12.
Look,
and it's easy days. Then it comes down to the final regular season game against Oregon State.
Let me help you out here. And this might make you feel a bit better.
Oh, it's not.
This is an Oregon team that could have very easily lost to Texas Tech. So
That was a long time ago.
Yeah.
That was a long time ago.
Andrew, what's
possible.
What's the spread look like?
Oh, it's minus 15 Oregon.
Yeah, this is.
I'm taking Oregon to cover.
It's literally it's around the same. It's a little less than what Washington State was with Cameron Ward.
Yeah.
Here's the thing: Caleb Williams is better than Cameron Ward, but it's not like the team surrounding Caleb Williams is that much better than Washington State's. So, like I said, I'm going to pick USC out of principle, but I don't feel great about that bet. I would lean Oregon.
not.
So,
Well, that about does it for college football. Unless anyone has anything else to say, we got a lot of fun games to talk about. Moving on over to the NFL. We'll start with a Thursday night matchup. The Titans versus Steelers. It was a game.
it was a game.
You know,
Sure was a game. Mayo boy.
Mayo boy is now the official starter.
Yeah, he is officially listed as the starter of the rest of the season, with Ryan Tannehill expected to be the backup.
They should have
you,
done
Will
this a
Levis.
long time ago.
Yeah, no
they
kidding.
should have. They really should have. Here's the thing: Levis gives this offense juice. I'm not sure how great of a starter he can be as a quarterback, but I know he's better than the options they currently have.
Yep.
So I'm interested to see how the Tennessee looks the rest of the season. Look, this is a great Pittsburgh Steelers defense. Granted, against the pass, they haven't been so great this year. But they were able to get the job done. Kenny Pickett is a guy that, here's the thing, you'll sit there and think Pittsburgh's in a decent position. They're not. Pickett is not going up against the top guys in the AFC. When you think about Mahomes, Burrow, Allen, Lamar, Herbert, Lawrence, like you get down, that's 6 quarterbacks I just named off the top of my head, and you expect Kenny Pickett to be the guy leading you into battle?
Absolutely not.
And here's the thing, you're not going to be able, again, unless Pittsburgh wants to double down on quarterback, to eventually drive somebody else. So, yeah, the Steelers are kind of stuck. And again, he's a local guy. They're going to give him the chance. They may even sign him to a contract extension.
Yeah.
But, look, the Steelers and Mike Tomlin, they're going to just win games that they shouldn't and then lose the important ones. So,
Yeah, they're gonna keep Mike Tomlin above that 500 record.
yeah, no, they're gonna win like 9 games, go 9-8, and then lose potentially in the wild card or miss out in the playoffs. So,
Moving on over to
What's going on?
what is going on?
Hold on, that's weird.
Listen,
All right, moving on over to one of the most anticipated matchups that we had in really this whole season. Dolphins Chiefs over in Germany.
Germany.
Dolphins did not prevail. Really, we're just a third quarter team, and that was about it.
Honestly.
It's one of those now where in the last, so this whole season, they have not beat a team that's over 500 currently.
Yep.
They're 0-3 against the Bills, the Eagles, and the Chiefs.
Yep.
And then they're 6-0 against teams that are under 500.
Yeah. So, you play losing teams. Apparently, they're the guys, but you try to take on a winning team, not so much.
And listen, I'm going to say this again, and I know I'm going to get pushback. Tua Tagovailoa did not have a great game in this one. Again, the Chiefs' defense might be one of the best in the NFL. No, doubts about it. Tua Tagovailoa this season, right? We're about to find out because now we're getting into later the season where it's going to get colder. They're not necessarily in that Miami heat weather where everything's warm and perfect conditions.
No.
Tua Tagovailoa up to this point, and again, last year was injuries. I'm not taking that away from him. Tua Tagovailoa has not had a full season where he's put together a season worth noting for. Like, he's had some up and downs throughout his NFL career, and I'm very interested to see what the second half of the season looks like for him and this Dolphins offense. Now, again, they're going to the bye week this week. We'll see what they look like coming out.
Yep. Moving on to the next one, the Minnesota backups take on the Falcons. The backups won.
Shout out Joshua Dobbs.
Josh
Plug and play.
Dobbs.
Really, no kidding. If you actually go back and watch some of the stuff, you had maybe 5 minutes for them to learn his cadence, and then...
Well, hold on. So tee it up from the beginning. So Jaron Hall starts this one.
Yep.
Right, because Josh Dobbs was literally traded at the trade deadline from Arizona
wasn't
to Minnesota.
going to play.
Yep, but he was listed as the backup QB because obviously Nick Mullins, I think, is still dealing with injury.
IR, yep.
Yeah, so he's just dealing with something. So Dobbs is literally just there to expect, just to kind of be holding the clipboard, doing the good
Learn to
diligence.
play, yeah.
Exactly,
Learn
right?
everything.
Well, then Jaron Hall, on a run kind of near the goal line, he gets
Yep.
knocked out with a concussion. He's listed out for the rest of the game. And shout out 4.0 student Joshua Dobbs coming in and just being the savior that Minnesota needs.
Dude, they were telling him,
Every play, Kevin O'Connell was on the mic being like, okay,
was
here's what's
physically
gonna happen.
describing it to
Yes,
him on the
exactly.
mic.
Yep.
And the fact
In
that
real
you can
time.
take that
real time.
and you can go and compete and do what you did and win a football game,
No, it was impressive. Like I said,
extremely impressive.
they're over there on the sidelines, less than 5 minutes to learn his cadence. The line's here, and 3 of it, just his cadence.
Absolutely nuts.
Here's 3 calls real quick, guys. Here you go. Let's learn it. Let's go. And hey, they provided victory. Falcons apparently don't want to run Bijan, which is weird. But
They don't want to use Kyle Pitts either.
Yeah.
They want to use Jonnu Smith and Tyler Algier compared to their 2 stud athletes. that they
absolutely
drafted.
insane, man.
I don't
Free Bijan.
understand.
Here's the
it.
thing.
Bijan.
I've defended Arthur Smith for as long as I can remember his tenure because I think he is a really good coach at times. This one was not one of his better performances. And I honestly, you kind of sit there and write. And, if you want to sit there and spread the ball around, I get it. And if it results in wins, no one can question you for it. But then when it results in losses, now you have to kind of sit there and own it and hey, listen, he's clearly not a fantasy football fan, as he let us know.
Yeah, no kidding.
But yeah, Falcons fans are kind of sitting there thinking, hey, we can win this division. Let's use our, top 8 picks or whatever in Bijan and Kyle Pitts.
Yep.
So-
And they just don't really want to
just
play.
don't want to use them.
Right. Yep. But going back to calling them the backups, because now KJ Osborne also got hurt during that game and isn't really going to be expected to play either.
So nuts.
Good news, though, Justin Jefferson's on the horizon.
He is, yeah.
He's not
designated
going to
return.
play, but
He's designated to return. His
So-
practice window has been open.
yeah, so don't expect him to just suddenly jump in Sunday and play, because even O'Connell's like, that's pretty aggressive to expect him to.
Oh, it's going to be the Addison and Hawkinson show.
100%.
It's been
And-
since he's gone to IR.
Thank goodness I have them both on fantasy right now. So, moving on over the Browns and the Cardinals. Yeah.
Wow.
Clayton Tune still in the NFL. Crazy.
That's insane.
They picked this guy over Colt McCoy. I get Colt McCoy's not he's
really
old,
doing anything. Either.
Right.
but this guy
Yeah.
over Colt McCoy.
Over Colt.
Okay.
Whatever.
But good news for you Cardinal fans. He's back.
Kyler's back.
He is scheduled to return this week.
So maybe you'll have some upsides, maybe get a couple more wins for your sake.
Yeah.
Maybe not, to try to get better draft
This
picks.
was, I gotta say this was also the most least impressive 27-0 win I can remember.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The Browns did not look good at all
I
in
don't
this
like
one.
the Browns, man.
That's fair.
Browns defense, though.
Oh yeah, no, hey, listen, I had them in fantasy. Speaking of fantasy,
Yeah.
and they did work. So appreciate that.
Moving on over, Packers Rams.
So again, speaking of people that have a job that shouldn't, Brett Ripien.
Yeah.
Big reason why the LA Rams signed Carson Wentz off of free agency, and he's probably going to be the backup. Again, we're not sure of Stafford's condition going forward. He did have a thumb injury that now they're going into their own bye week.
Yep.
We'll see what they look like coming out.
Hoping to have him back from the bye week, but we'll see.
Yeah. You know what the biggest telltale of this game was? Jordan Love was playing against Brett Ripien, and I couldn't tell at times who was better.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The fact that Green Bay, again, just was in fortunate positions is the only reason they won this game.
Absolutely.
I just like how Carson Wentz is trying to be Thanos and collect as many NFL teams as he can.
Oh, and their practice gear, warm-up stuff that he's got. Yeah, he needed the cleats, man. Now he's got them. Yeah. So there you go.
So moving on to the next game, Washington Commanders, Patriots. Man, Sam Howell had himself a decent game.
This was honestly this was like one of those low-key entertaining games. If you watch it, I know we have when you have Sunday Ticket and you're kind of just like, oh, which game are we doing? Yep. This one was really entertaining. Sam Howell is one of the kind of least talked about really good stories of this NFL season. He's been really great under Eric Bieniemy. The offense looks really good. They've been spreading the ball around. And look, Mac Jones, say what you will about the Patriots, like they'll make it competitive. They just play a brand of football that does not leave them to too many blowouts when they're on their game.
Well, Belichick's job might be in danger if he doesn't win up against, I think it's the Colts they play next.
Well, no,
I could be wrong.
No, he just signed a contract extension.
Yeah, but it doesn't look good if you keep doing this.
You don't fire the guy that won you 7 Super Bowls.
You don't also fire the guy that's on pace to break the all-time wins record in NFL history as a coach.
It's going to take
It's not his fault. Mac Jones is a bum.
Again, I think they're drafting a new QB. That's all. That's it. Yeah.
Moving on to the next game, Saints and Bears. It's
Bears.
Tyson Bagent, again, proved why he's a backup with those 3 turnovers. Honestly, the Bears made this one competitive, and Derek Carr,
for the backups this week, man.
A lot of backups. And look, Derek Carr is what he is. He did make the winning plays when they needed to. Mm-hmm. Look, Bagent's going to start again this Thursday night against Carolina. Fields will hopefully get, after 10 days of rest, the next start.
Yep.
Derek Carr, again, the Saints, they're going to somehow back in their way to this division, and Carr's played like a D quarterback.
Yeah.
It's just been not great. I mean, it's the fact that Taysom Hill is the thing that gives this offense juice is incredible at this point.
Yeah.
Who would you rather have? Zach Wilson, Derek Carr.
You're talking about right now or going forward?
Right now.
Derek Carr.
Okay. And then going forward.
Derek Carr.
Okay.
Yeah.
Because I think the reason why I just asked that is because, Zach Wilson right now, again, with his mobility, might be able to win you some games because he's learned to not turn the ball over at times.
But he can't score against the fucking Chargers.
Well, again, and, I
would get into that a little bit later.
I was about to say, give him Derek Carr's weapons and see what he can do. Because the Jets don't have what the Saints have, and Derek Carr's not able to do what he's able to do, so...
Moving on to the next game, Colin, I'm sorry, the Ravens Seahawks. Yeah, ouch. I mean the Ravens.
I'm wearing the one Seahawks jersey that I have that I'm able to wear with some bit of pride. Like Jamal Adams was a force in the run game defensively. Outside of that, it was a bunch of bleh. Geno Smith, again, proving why he maybe should be writing back, getting his mailing addresses in order. Kenneth Walker,
he's inking up the pins.
Yeah. Look, we couldn't get the run game going. Jackson Smith and Jigba, again, starting to kind of come out of his shell, so that's a positive sign. But defensively, there was nothing we could do with Lamar Jackson. And, I was asked about it, like, how do you feel about Seattle? I'm like, we're not better than San Francisco. We're not better than Philly. We're not better than Detroit. And I think that's being generous listing any team. Like, we're in the thick of it now with, like, New Orleans, Atlanta, whomever else in the end, maybe even I would even say Dallas is better than us right now. Like I'd feel more confident in the Cowboys than I feel in the Seattle Seahawks.
Yeah,
I would.
It's fair to say.
Y'all haven't gotten blown out 37-3.
No, I'm not saying that. I didn't think the Cowboys would stoop that low.
Oh, okay. See again. All right, again.
Moving on to probably the most entertaining game of the week. Houston Texans,
Stroud,
Tampa Bay Buccaneers.
Boys, stand up and stand by.
Not even the CJ Stroud show portion of it. It's the fact that they lost their kicker and they couldn't go for field goals, basically. So
any extra points.
Any extra points.
Yeah.
So it was entertaining to watch. It's basically 4th down, you got to go for it. And it was working out. CJ Stroud was on a tear that game.
He set the NFL rookie record for passing yards, 470 yards, broke Andrew Luck's record, 5 touchdowns, including that last-minute drive that he had to ultimately put the Texans ahead of the Buccaneers.
That man is single-handedly destroying
Here's
the
what
Ohio State quarterback.
No, listen, I was critical of him too, like before the season. What are you? Oh.
You literally just pulled your plug out of the wall.
Oh, it's fine.
For your laptop.
I mean, my charger's fine. Okay. No, look, I was critical because I didn't understand Stroud athletically what he brought differently compared to Anthony Richardson, Bryce Young. I now realize that he, as a leader, is one of the greatest leaders you can have. I mean, it's every time he comes to the podium, it's great quotes coming out. I mean, it's just he exudes just greatness.
He's a great locker room guy as well. Everyone loves him. It's just it's all working right now, at least with him in Houston.
Here's the thing. I'm going to list QBs. And right now, you tell me, again, because Rodgers, he's coming off an Achilles at age 40 or whatever.
Yeah.
How many quarterbacks, future-wise, again, seeing what you've seen from C.J. Stroud, 8 games in, would you rather have as your future starting QB over C.J. Stroud? Okay. Patrick Mahomes. You would take Mahomes. Yeah. Okay. Just let me know when you take Stroud.
Okay.
Joe Burrow. So you would take Burrow.
Yes.
Josh Allen.
Yep.
Josh Allen.
We'll go Jalen Hurts.
Still Hurts.
Lamar Jackson.
Still Lamar.
Okay. Justin Herbert.
Yeah.
Now you're starting to think about it.
Yeah.
Trevor Lawrence.
I'm still taking Trevor Lawrence.
Okay.
Yeah. Trevor Lawrence for now.
It's close, right?
It's getting there.
Now you got to think, okay, maybe again, we'll rule out Aaron Rodgers. Matthew Stafford's obviously out because he's older.
Yeah.
Dak Prescott.
I'd take CJ.
Kyler Murray.
I'd take CJ over Kyler.
CJ.
Tua Tagovailoa.
I'd go CJ.
I don't know, man. I'm a proud member of Tuanon and the Stroud boys.
I like Tua, but I think CJ's better.
Is he? It gets close. And now we're sitting there. I mean, you could...
Tua has better options right now, but I want to see what Tua can do with what he has in Houston.
Exactly. So it just goes to show that Stroud, it might be a top 10 guy building around already as a rookie, as a future. And that's insane.
Because
very competitive.
He's going to be your focal point.
Yeah.
And there's really a non-existent run game.
I mean, we can all agree he's the best rookie coming out. So he's better than
100%.
Anthony Richardson and Bryce Young and Will Levis.
Yeah, 100%.
I mean, he's better than Kenny Pickett.
To be fair, with Anthony Richardson,
he got injured, right?
Yeah, we haven't been able to see a whole lot of him. He looked really promising when he was playing. We unfortunately didn't get to see everything.
Right.
So it's, again, with that in mind, CJ Stroud, yes, 100%.
Yeah.
All right, CJ Stroud or Gardner Minshew?
You're just being mean now. But
well,
yes,
I mean, we're talking about the next
Stroud.
game. Okay, there you go. Well, Gardner Minshew did get a win, his first win as a starter for the Indianapolis Colts, 27-13 over Carolina Panthers and Bryce Young. Panthers.
Complete opposite of the Florida Panthers.
Yeah.
Bryce Young looks overwhelmed.
So overwhelmed.
Yeah, three interceptions as well.
He, to me, he might be the reason why I no longer have faith in smaller level quarterbacks. Because now if you think about it, right,
it's fair.
Baker Mayfield kind of didn't live up to the number 1 overall billing. Russell Wilson, again, reached a point, and then he's kind of tapered off earlier than what you'd expect.
Right.
Breeze is an outlier. Okay.
Yeah.
You got to think Manziel was a bust. You got to think all the small Kyler Murray. We're not sure where his next destination could be.
Yeah.
And how Arizona's talked about trading him, and then
exactly
there was a chance they could have traded him to
Minnesota,
and they didn't. So
I don't want to disqualify a guy because of his size, but it's getting to the point now where if you're just not big and strong enough to compete with some of these guys in the NFL with their cannons, I mean, it's just what are you going to do?
Yeah, it's fair.
Not much you can do.
Yeah.
Next game, the Raiders and Giants. Yeah.
Oh boy,
it was a game.
They chose Daniel Jones over Saquon Barkley.
And Daniel Jones is now out for the season with a torn ACL. They're now going to roll with a former character from Goodfellas, if I have that reference correct.
Tommy DeVito.
Yeah. Yep. So there you go.
Hey, it helps my fantasy team with Saquon.
Does it? Because I don't know if they got to move the ball in order to be able to give Saquon carries.
Just hand them the ball. That's all you need to do. Forget the pass game at this point.
I mean, they may forget their whole season after this, Giants fans, because it is rough. The fact that Antonio Pierce also won this and the celebration. Did y'all see the celebration that was going on in the locker room? They were lighting cigars like they won the Super Bowl.
Yep.
It's the Giants.
Here's the thing. They got rid of McDaniels and Jimmy Garoppolo.
True.
So I don't know if I knew McDaniel wasn't they also saw some slander with Jimmy G. The fact that Aiden O'Connell was so well beloved in that locker room.
Yeah.
The Raiders are just an interesting organization. You realize the Raiders, you want to hear a crazy stat? Because we're going to get into this team here in just a second. You realize the Raiders have one less win and loss in the same category as the Buffalo Bills? The Raiders are currently set at 4-5. The Buffalo Bills are 5-4.
Fair.
Listen, put some respect on the Raiders' name, I guess, or put some disrespect on the Bills' name, whichever one you want to do. But those are the facts.
Yeah.
It's insane.
All right, moving on to the next game. One of the other anticipated matchups for Sunday, Cowboys-Eagles. Andrew, I'm sorry, but your Cowboys couldn't get it done against the Eagles, 28-23.
This was the only game worth watching in the afternoon window, by the way. Can we just talk about Cowboys-Eagles, right? Great game. Giants-Raiders, ass. Colts-Panthers, ass.
Yeah. Look, the Eagles are clearly a very talented team. They're surrounded by talent in like every aspect. That defensive line is insane. They stepped up when they needed to late in the game. The Cowboys O-line just kind of looked like they were in shambles. There were spurts of the game where they would perform well. They would get us a drive, and then you get down into the red zone, and it's hold, false start, penalty. Like, it was terrible. And what really sucks is they wasted an incredible Dak Prescott game.
This is one of the best Prescott games he's had in his career.
And we've said that 2 weeks in a row now.
He outplayed Jalen Hurts.
We've said that 2 weeks in a row now.
Yeah, and here's the thing. What I said after that Niners loss, and you were sitting there, oh, woe is me, right? I said, wait until a month from now because they had the bye. They had the game against the Rams, the game against the Chargers, and then this game against Philly.
Right.
They look like one of the best teams in the NFC, in my opinion.
No, and I mean, the Cowboys had every opportunity to win this game.
They did.
They really did.
They really did.
And it wasn't Dak Prescott's fault that they lost either. Mm-hmm. It was penalties on the O-line really, really screwed us. And Philly in that fucking tush push.
The brotherly shove, brother. The brotherly shove.
Oh, my God, dude.
Hey, listen, they found something that clearly other teams can't do as well as them. They're going to exploit it. It's just the nature of the game.
Yep.
And, yeah, here's the thing of what I'll say about this game real quickly. A.J. Brown was finally slowed down, so Cowboys defense is capable of executing at a game plan that they clearly had going into this one. CeeDee Lamb also has been him the last couple of weeks.
Yep.
He's really balled out. Like I said, Dallas to me, again, we'll see what San Francisco looks like now coming out of their bye week as they go into this next upcoming game. Outside of them, maybe if San Francisco plays on their A game, Dallas theoretically could play with anybody else in the NFC. So it may just come down to matchups.
Yeah.
Moving on over to another fun game to watch: Cincinnati Bengals, Buffalo Bills. Buffalo get Josh Allen help.
Dude, the fact that the Bengals were able to do something that college teams do and stripe out their stadium,
That was pretty dope.
that was so sick.
That was really cool.
Stripe out the jungle. Like, what a cool thing to be able to do.
Also, just from a fan's perspective, neutral fans' perspective, obviously, because none of us are fans of these teams.
Right.
How joyous was it to watch? Because here's the thing, Patrick Mahomes, the broadcast almost gets overdone with Patrick Mahomes kind of like coverage and stuff.
Yeah.
These are arguably
the Chiefs in general this year too, with Taylor and Travis.
Yeah. Right. So here's the thing. We could, I think, agree for us at the table in some order. 2 and 3 are Josh Allen and Joe Burrow, right?
Yes.
The fact that we got to see those guys go head to head in just a game, hey, who's better, me or you, and that they showed respect afterwards, and it wasn't, heavily one-sided favored on the commentary booth. I thought this was one of the more enjoyable primetime games of the season.
And man, does Buffalo super rely on Josh Allen to do everything.
What have we been saying, Brendan?
The man has apparently got to be the rushing leader of the team.
What have we been saying?
We've been saying this week after week. Josh Allen cannot be your leading rusher.
Here's the thing. And they just clearly don't trust James Cook. I've just come to terms with it. They don't trust him for whatever reason, even though on the season he's
honestly,
averaging almost 5 yards a carry.
I'm just convinced that they think that the winning recipe is Josh Allen being able to move the ball. But that's only a winning recipe if you have a running back that still takes attention away from Josh Allen running.
Yeah.
Now they expect Josh Allen to run all the time.
Here's what I'll ask too. All right. So I brought up early before the season, I had questions about Sean McDermott, right? And his relative to Josh Allen. Like the fact that Burrow's got an offensive coach. Mahomes has got an offensive coach. Herbert's struggling because he has a defensive coach. Lamar has now an offensive kind of coach with Harbaugh. You got an new offensive coordinator. My thing with McDermott, right? He may not be perfect, but at least he can coach up the defense to a respectable amount. I mean, holding Burrow to 24 points is something.
Yeah.
Bill's front office, right? You look at this offense. They clearly don't trust James Cook or Latavius Murray, and they had to bring in Leonard Fournette.
Yeah.
Their offensive line has been hit or miss, I think, during Allen's entire tenure.
Yep.
Okay? Diggs is Diggs. We respect him. He's one of the great NFL receivers in this game.
He'll do what you need to do. Gabe Davis also.
No, Gabe Davis, you're a fantasy owner. How has he been this year? Up and down, right?
I mean, this is Gabe Davis every year.
Okay, but that's your number 2.
Boomer bust.
Okay, McKenzie, boomer bust. They now got this Khalil Shakir guy. They drafted Dalton Kincaid. We'll see what he is. He's a rookie. Outside of Josh Allen and Stephon Diggs, what do the Buffalo Bills do great on offense?
Josh figured out.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. Outside of Josh Allen and Stephon Diggs, this team, and now with dealing with the injuries that they're dealing with, what do they do that's elite? And now they're sitting here as of this morning or as of this evening that we're recording this, the Buffalo Bills would not be in the playoffs.
Yeah, no, and
They wouldn't be.
heaven forbid, like something happens to Josh Allen. Say he even just gets sick and misses a game. I think Buffalo's in for a very rude awakening when they realize, oh my gosh, what are we going to do now?
Yeah.
Like Stephon Diggs already gets frustrated as it is, just because again, Josh Allen's having to figure it out on the run and immediately change a play.
And here's the thing, and I get Josh Allen, again, is trying to figure it all out, and he feels like a lot of pressure on himself. It's not the Kansas City game from the divisional game from a few years ago. You don't have to win it on every single throw. And maybe, again, he's just trying to, again, make a play happen because he feels like he has to make something happen. But he also is the same guy that leads the NFL in turnover since 2018.
Yeah.
Like, he has got to be better with the football in terms of just, situational ball. And I think the Buffalo Bills as an organization need to look at themselves top to bottom and realize we cannot win with this current formula. If they get into the postseason this year, I'm not sure if they make it out of the wild card round.
Yeah, and I mean, again, it comes back to there's not much of a line to protect him. So again, he's having to either get rid of the ball quick or he's having to run, and then he's trying to truck through people because it's just Josh Allen wants to compete and he wants to try to make a play, and it's not going to work out in the long run.
No, it's not. We've seen it with Cam Newton, literally in our lifetime.
Yeah,
A guy that's an imposable force that can throw it like an absolute cannon and also run over people.
Yep.
How does that work out if you don't freaking build a consistent offense around him instead of him being the heliocentric point of the offense?
Yep. And maybe that's just their plan is, hey, we'll treat you like Cam Newton, then we'll throw you to the Wolves later.
Also, Jamar Chase exited this one with an injury to his back. I think he'll be fine. T. Higgins, also, by the way, still is ever great. He's going to be the number one, I think, free agency target for a lot of teams in the offseason.
Yep.
He's so good.
Now, moving on over to the Monday night matchup, Chargers, New York Jets. So before we really get into this, I just want to say the Jets defense to hold Herbert to 27, you got to give a little respect.
Here's what I'll say, too. Herbert is an elite talent, and he came in as an elite prospect. I'm starting to wonder if Herbert is actually in that elite category.
Yeah,
and it really depends also how you define elite, which to be fair. But like again, quarterbacks right now, it's a Sunday. Again, we're having so many audio issues. I'm not sure what's going on. Are we good?
Yeah, we're good now.
Like I said, a game for your life tomorrow. Okay, well, I already kind of listed some of the quarterbacks earlier, but again, we'll do the same thing. Mahomes, you'd obviously take.
Yes.
Burrow, Allen.
Yep.
You take. Would you take Hurts?
Yep.
Would you take Trevor Lawrence?
Yep.
Would you take Rodgers if he was healthy? Maybe.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay, that's 7, right? Would you take? I said Lamar already?
No.
Lamar.
Yes.
Okay.
Lamar.
How many more do we got to get name? I mean, let's
I'll take Dak.
you take Dak over Herbert. I mean, that's a debate right now.
Yeah. I mean, even then, when we brought up like CJ, I was even like,
CJ Stroud, Matthew Stafford,
starting
like
to-
Tua, Kyler Murray. Like you list your quarterback.
Not Kyler.
Right. Again, I'm just listing
Dead
guys
if
out
it's
there.
Kyler. Rest in peace, Andrew.
No, it's just the fact that Herbert, again, this is a tough Jets defense, so it's not like this game was the end of the world. But he is, I've said it once and I'll say it again. He is not the problem, but he's paid to be the solution.
Yeah.
And he has not been a solution for the Chargers.
Yep.
Now, respectfully, what we just talked about with Josh Allen, how many things outside of Herbert do the Chargers do well? Like Eckler is, again, as a receiving threat is great with Herbert, but as a running back, not necessarily the greatest. Keenan Allen, a product of Herbert. And then the defense, they're one of the worst defenses in the NFL.
man, apparently not.
Well, Zach Wilson. Zach Wilson makes a lot of defenses.
What's wrong, Andrew? Why are you giving me a death glare?
Brendan stole $10 from me.
No, I didn't steal it. I earned it rightfully so.
The Chargers defense stole $10.
There you go.
Zach Wilson was sacked 8 times. The defense the special teams gave away a punt return touchdown.
Yep.
And they just held Zach Wilson in check until really the final series when it looked like it could be in the balance, and they got the final turnover.
For those of y'all wondering how they stole $10 from Andrew, in our fantasy league we have that all three of us are a part of, the highest scorer of the week gets $10. And so I didn't think I'd really be running for it. I won my matchup, and I was like, I'll play the Chargers defense. I was like, it's the Jets, right? They should throw up a couple points for me. That way I'm looking long-term playoff run kind of thought process, right? Mm-hmm. Unbeknownst to me, apparently the Chargers defense just wanted to be like, hey, we're going to look like the best defense in the world right now and go off. And yeah, 25 fantasy points helps boost me up to steal that spot by what, 2 points?
Yeah, I think you won by 3 actually, or like
3?
2.5
or
maybe,
2.5, something like that.
It was somewhere in that range.
So $10 became mine, and Andrew said he would scream if that actually happened. When I texted, I was like, "Wow, they're doing really well," and then it happened.
Yeah, I'm looking at next week. It just looks like a bunch of hot ass games.
Yeah,
there's like not good games.
Yeah, like all of them hot ass.
Let's see here.
Panthers, Bears, Giants, Cowboys, Colts, Patriots.
Detroit, Los Angeles will be good. The Chargers are
that wouldn't be good. But Texans, Bengals.
Texans, Bengals could be a good one. Yeah. I think Green Bay, Pittsburgh will be a sneaky good one. Again, it's not going to be the greatest offenses in the world, but again, Pickett versus Love. I want to see if Pickett can
San Francisco, Jacksonville.
Yeah, that'll be a good one.
That'll be a good one.
Yeah, San Francisco, Jacksonville.
Who knows about Cleveland, Baltimore?
Yeah, divisional matchup that could always be good. Kyler Murray's return versus Atlanta.
Detroit Chargers.
I mentioned that one.
Yeah. Okay.
Dallas. Yeah. Dallas should smoke the Giants.
Washington, Seattle.
I swear we better get on track in that one. I really hope we do.
You don't hope Sam Howell just runs through y'all?
Knowing him, he probably will. He probably freaking will. So,
then the Monday matchup, Buffalo, Denver. So
I mean, look, when you have Kansas City, the Rams, the Dolphins, and the Eagles on bye, chances are you might have some duds. And
it's because they were in Germany.
Right.
Dolphins.
I would have much rather them have moved the Buffalo and San Francisco Jacksonville game.
I'll say Detroit, Los Angeles will be my game of the week.
Detroit, Los Angeles.
The Chargers, Chargers Lions. Fair. Yeah. Although that San Francisco the 49ers and Jaguars matchup, that could also be a sneaky one.
Just because I want to see it, Houston, Cincinnati.
Okay.
I want to see CJ Stroud again. Just pop off. Andrew, what's the game you're looking forward to?
I don't know, man. A sneaky one might be 49ers Jags.
Okay, so you're going. Okay,
you're going the 49ers. That was my second pick.
Yeah, same. Yeah. So okay, there we go.
Yep. Well, anything else to cover in the world of football?
No, man. That was a lot of football.
Yeah,
that's always a good time.
Yep. So, let's end it as always on This Day in Sports.
I got one if you want to
go ahead. Go ahead.
On this day, and I screenshotted it, 1992, Nigel Mansell in a Williams crashes during the season-ending Australian Grand Prix in Adelaide, which I wish they still raced in Adelaide. It's such a fun track. But wins his first Formula One World Drivers' Championship by 52 points. Mansell won a then record 9 Grand Prix during the season.
Wow. Only 9?
Only 9. And Max has doubled that.
Yeah.
Essentially.
Essentially. So my on this day is actually going to be, we have a Twitter page that posts clips every day. On this day in Chicago sports history, remember Cassius Marsh when he violently assaults the referee? He basically tried to get out of the referee's way, and the referee bumped him with his hip, and then the referee flew the flag. So that was on this day back in
that's insane.
Yeah, 2021.
Nice. On this day in 1961, Whitney Ford is voted Cy Young winner.
On this day in 1966, Lyndon B. Johnson signs the antitrust immunity to allow the AFL-NFL merger. Thus, the Super Bowl and the football that we know today was born.
Truly a great day.
An insane thing that had to happen. What that is pretty much.
I know it is.
The fact that you have to get immunity for.
No, I'm laughing. The fact that today of all days, that's the day that it happened.
I know.
Just freaking nuts. On this day, back in 1990, Darryl Strawberry signs a 5-year contract with the LA Dodgers.
On this day in 1947, you know, Colin and I, big cricket guys here.
Yeah, we are.
Broadman scores his 99th first-class cricket century. I have no idea what that meant.
100 South Australia
Yeah,
versus
I don't.
Victoria.
I guess that's really good. I don't know. If you drop 100 points, I would assume it's amazing.
I'll give one more just to end it on an awkward note. On this day in 1951, New York Yankees catcher Yogi Berra wins the first of his 3 MVP awards.
Yep. Well, that does it for Good Time Sports Podcast today. Follow us, Spotify, Twitter, TikTok, YouTube, Apple Music, wherever. Really.
Instagram, yeah.
Oh, yeah, Instagram too. I keep forgetting we do that one. We should probably do Facebook eventually.
Yeah, we're getting there.
But hey, YouTube, shout out to y'all. We've been noticing y'all been watching a lot, so keep doing y'all thing. And spread the love. We like
Spread the love.
Spread the love. Spread the love.
Spread the love.
Spread the love, everyone.
Peace.